As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports Show on Crunch Time Sports with Jeff Iafrate and Booner. It's Friday, January 6th, and we are back to talk some Detroit Lions. Along with some other things today, we're going to talk some Detroit Pistons as well. Sean Murphy's joining the show. We got the NBA trade day deadline. We'll give our thoughts on what the Pistons should do. We got Caleb, pick 'em for the rest of the playoffs. You know, people in the chat already talking about McDonald's. You guys need to chill the hell out. All right.
Oh no! Oh no!
Will Jeff be able to eat his way?
That
out?
Reminds me, I need to get the records here before Caleb gets
just,
on.
We gotta. It's. I mean, we just started the show and we're already talking McDonald's.
I'm sorry, brother.
It's brutal, but you know what? It's going to be a good show. I got a feeling today. ESPN came out with a article ranking last year's draft classes. Oh, where do the Detroit Lions rank on that one? We'll talk about that as well. We'll show off Booner's tweet. Kind of comparing Brad Holmes' first round picks in 2020. What was that? Would that be 2024 to Howie Roseman's? So we'll talk some draft. We'll talk some the coaching cycle, which continues, all that and more. Roy Lopez commented on his Detroit Lions, I guess, tenure coming to an end for now.
Coming to an end.
Now he's a free agent, so he's not technically a Detroit Lion, but he commented on resigning and coming back. So we'll talk about that.
I haven't even seen this. I'm pumped up for this one.
Big Roy Lopez, man. The man, the myth, the legend.
How are we doing? By the way, dude, I've got the longest hair of all time. I just noticed it looking at the screen here. I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm Elvis.
You are Elvis.
Yeah, that's just I need to get a haircut. I'm gonna put a hat on today. Till I get a haircut.
Hey, you know what? It's the off season. We're letting things slip. We're letting things slip. You know what I mean? It's the off season. It's just how it is.
No, we're not doing no Diddy stuff around here, brother.
Whoa.
You said we're letting things slip, man. I don't want to let anything slip.
Detroit,
how are we doing, Jeff? How are we doing? I'm having a good Friday here. Pumped up. Playoffs tomorrow and Sunday. Pistons are.
Detroit sports fan just said, I hope the Rams win and then lose. What does that mean? I mean,
it is.
Oh, beat the Bears and then lose. Okay.
Yeah, it is a really weird situation to be in because I know a lot of I was actually going to ask you this today, and I wanted to we should have made it a segment because they play tomorrow or Sunday. But the one thing that I was thinking about today is are Lions fans back on cheering for Matthew Stafford? Because there was that a couple years ago, but there were a lot that did not want him to win another one. If I had to put a hand, we'll love to see Stafford in another Super Bowl. Personally, I would. And if it's not Josh Allen, I don't really care. If it's not Josh Allen, then I would love it to be Matthew Stafford. That's my hot take. Sorry if I offend anyone.
There's really people out there that are so bitter. And
it just doesn't affect me that much. People are really just
out there that are so bitter that they still believe Matthew Stafford's a bad player. I mean, I've seen it. Matthew was trash in Detroit. He was the problem. I still see it on social media. Doc's a prime example, but I see a lot of people that think the same way. It's confusing. But I will say that he's
the leader of it.
A good conversation that 97.1 The Ticket had. Shout out to Jim Costa. They had the segment, would you rather have Matthew Stafford back or Ben Johnson back with the Detroit Lions, if you could pick? I don't know if it's for for a season or just for, I don't know how that works. For a season, I would assume.
Who would you?
I don't know. I saw the poll they put out. I think it was 70-30 Ben Johnson. So
I think I would go Ben.
It was Ben Johnson or Matthew Stafford. That was the question.
Because without Ben Johnson, with the current team that you have now, Stafford's great, and I think he could do a lot maybe that Jared can't do, especially with his arm.
You still want him in a good system, You still
I think that still comes down to that. He is in the Sean McVay system, right? He does benefit from that a little bit. It's not taking away anything from that Stafford, but
it's why he's had success. It's only helped him. I mean,
it's kind of a fact with that, and that also doesn't mean Stafford was bad when he was here at all.
No, but that's the biggest argument people what me and you make is if you would have given him a good coaching staff, that a coach that still coaches in the league. Jim Schwartz could pop back up and be a head coach, but usually, the Jim Caldwells of the world or Jim Schwartz's of the world, that's who his coaches were essentially. So, if you would have given him a better coaching staff, a better offensive scheme, a good O-line, you actually put a good foundation around him like the Rams did, then maybe you could have success. So I actually agree with you. If I had to pick, I would definitely take Ben Johnson back because I know what kind of impact he would have on this offense entirely. Matthew Stafford would be, he's an incredible quarterback, but I think when you look at Goff and Stafford on like a given year, you probably put Stafford in my eyes, probably like top 5 to 6 when he's playing like some really good football, top 5 to 6, quarterback in the NFL. I'd probably put Goff like a couple spots back. So it's not like a massive difference to me. I think Matthew's the better player, but I think Ben Johnson is significantly better than who you had in John Morton. Like it's not even, he's miles far better. So he would make a bigger impact, in my opinion. Like, look at the year Jared had statistically. Like, look what happened. Nothing. You didn't.
Yeah, that's why I just think it's more so like even if Stafford came back now, it just we maybe would make the playoffs, but like you're not probably. I think with Ben, like if you had Ben back this last year, maybe the third quarter situations don't happen. You're in the playoffs, you have a chance, and you see what Ben's doing in Chicago. Like the Chicago team couldn't figure out how to win. Ben went there and said, "This is how you win," especially down the stretch. And we had the text today in one of our groups about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson and Jared and all that. And that was the thing that I kept thinking was the argument that gets made a lot. Like if it was Flannel that was kind of taking a victory lap on Caleb Williams to you, with you being like, "Oh, we were Caleb believers," but the counter argument I make to you guys is like, well. Both of you told me that Ben was the offense and was one of the main pieces here. And then when Ben went to Chicago, you're like, oh, you're going to be missing a lot here in Detroit. Like it was Ben. And then Ben goes and does that in Chicago with Caleb. So it's like, yeah, Caleb is Caleb. But to both of you guys' point, like to me, it's like you guys were saying that about Ben. Like Ben was the one that kind of changes that thing, and he's been the reason. I don't think it has nothing to do with Caleb Williams. He's been making plays for sure.
Yeah, he's had a great year.
He's making plays, but essentially though, it's like Caleb's still Caleb. He was Caleb, but it's really, in my opinion, it's Ben that's the one kind of those late game situations that's kind of putting them in a position to win in the play calls and the different things that he's doing. Just like he did here in Detroit, man. He did it all constantly in Detroit.
I saw a stat. It was like, I think Nick Wright put it out or something. It was a crazy stat, which the Bears, this is how they're winning games. I think it was actually a Caleb Williams stat I think he brought up, but I think NFL teams, when they're down like 10 points in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go, I don't know, whatever the stat was, it was like 3 and 160. And then he said Caleb is 3-3 in his career in those situations. So I think Caleb is a very good quarterback down the stretch. And not that you're ideally want to be in that position, but he's been really clutch. I think having a good coach helps. That's why I always hated. I don't actually agree with the whole coaches make him. I just don't. I think that's stupid. I think that's, to me, just, I don't want to say like hot takey. It's not hot takey, but it's just like, it's like you say it to get a reaction. I don't know. I don't believe in coaches make players. What I believe is coaching helps. Like I think Caleb is a really good quarterback, and Ben just elevates him to really, you get to see what he actually is because of good coaching. I don't think it's like, or same with Goff. Like Goff's a good quarterback, but with McVay and Ben, you really get to see what Goff can be in those systems.
Can I frame that a different way?
The word, like Ben made Goff and all that. It's so stupid.
Can I frame it a different way?
Yeah, sure.
Can I frame it into what Caleb does bad, Ben helps make up? Because I think in the game, like even versus the Packers, Caleb had some of those interceptions and critical moments where you were like, oh my gosh, like what was that throw? Like that fourth down throw, like, yeah, it was essentially like a pump, but like Caleb on our show, not Williams, but like Caleb on our show said, like that was one of the worst passes of all time because he had 2 guys wide open. He just makes a mental error, which Caleb has done forever. Like he did that all last year. He did it all this year. And they're losing, they're down in games because Caleb's making some of those mistakes. But also, Ben's making up for those mistakes by putting him in a position in the fourth quarter. Okay, we're back in this position. Here are some play calls, like the play call to DJ Moore, where DJ Moore was wide open to take the lead. Like, that's a Ben Johnson play call.
Yeah,
You know that is the
like
2-point conversion. Like Caleb makes it. Now there was that 4th down, and this is where again there's the mixture of it to where Jared didn't have some of the Caleb to where that 4th and like 8 where Caleb makes that insane escape from the pocket, comes rolling out and makes that off balance throw like 30 yards down the field. Till I think it was like Luther Burden or someone. Like that's not Ben Johnson. That's Caleb Williams just making a play that not a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL can make that play. But there are a lot of situations to where Caleb is a gun-happy quarterback and doesn't make the best decisions sometimes. He's done it all year where he's made like dumb decisions and then they're still in it at the 4th quarter and they end up making plays and winning it. That was where I'm like, okay, I think Ben's helped them out in that sense. To where last year, like, what's Matt Eberflus doing in those moments? What's the OC from Seattle doing in those moments?
Help.
It's the coach that's like, hey, we're down a touchdown because you threw 2 interceptions. We're still fine. I'm gonna call the best drive of my life, and you're gonna play the best drive of your life. He needed a coach like that. Like it's a fact to me. And Jared,
same with Jared though.
That's what I'm saying. Jared benefited Ben for that, and I think Jared this year he did have a good year statistically wise. I think that was just because Jared is a good quarterback. Now he needs a play caller that's in here like Mike McDaniel that can put him in those positions in the 3rd quarter instead of going 3 straight 3-and-outs. Right, like that's the difference. That's why I think there's the argument that he has. I don't even think it's an argument. I think it's a fact. He's benefited off Ben Johnson this year.
Yeah, it's not an argument. Like he's done. I think he does a good job taking care of the football for the most part. Like he only has 7 picks on the year, so he's not throwing a bunch of picks. But the picks against the Packers were gross picks. I mean, I think coaching elevates quarterback play. So yeah, like that's the same thing with any great quarterback. Like Mahomes. Mahomes is incredible. Having Andy Reid helps Mahomes. I mean, it's not even a debate. Clearly. Jalen Hurts, Kellen Moore helped Jalen Hurts. It doesn't mean Jalen Hurts is like a Kellen Moore product, but I don't know. I just hate when people say shit like that anyway. They've been saying it with Goff for a while too. It's like, Goff's had Sean McVay and Ben Johnson. It's awesome. It's awesome for him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away the fact that Goff's still a good quarterback. Every quarterback needs good coaching. They need to be insulated. Good offensive line, Like look at Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen got Joe Brady, and he was playing better. Joe Brady got in head coaching interviews, but that doesn't. Josh Allen's still great. It's just every great quarterback needs good coaching. Todd Monken with Lamar. You see the years he's had with Todd Monken. He's had a great year.
I think it benefits. Like some quarterbacks benefit off that. That's why you see some quarterbacks that who all their career aren't that good, but they get in a system where they're, a perfect system for them. And they have 2 or 3 good years, and then the rest of their career, they're not good
Ryan
again.
Tannehill, kind of good example.
It just happens. And I'm not saying Caleb can only be good under Ben, but like we saw him in year 1 struggle. And we saw even this year in times make bad decisions and struggle. He's going to learn. But like, I couldn't let that slide today. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's just trying to get you. The whole coaches that's why when Ben went to Chicago, I was like, because I know what kind of offensive mind Ben is, and combine that with what I think Caleb is. I think that he's going to help him significantly, and the offense in general. So, Jay Stees, yeah, Arthur Smith with Ryan Tannehill, he did have great years with Arthur Smith. I'm not taking that away from him. So, that was also what, half a decade ago, maybe more. So, but yeah, he did at one point in Tennessee. He was calling plays really well with Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill had a great year. So yeah, coaching helps every quarterback. I honestly did see. I'm kind of seeing all these head coach coordinator interviews kind of play out. I know more teams are interviewing, and you brought up a point before the show that Tom Pelissero put out that we're probably going to be in this coaching discussion. We're going to be talking about this for a long time, probably. There's so many jobs that are open. Mike McDaniel's going on a world tour right now. He's going on
as he should. If you were Mike McDaniel, you'd probably be like, "Yeah, I'm going to every city. I'm going to do my due diligence."
He's enjoying it. He interviewed with the Bucs today. He has an interview with the Chargers. I don't know, man.
I'm interested to see how this thing. And if people, I told you before the show, Jeff, like if people expect this thing, especially in Detroit, to work itself out by the end of the weekend or tomorrow or whatever it is. Tom Pelissero brought it up today, and I think it was a really good point to where he mentioned in the NFL currently, obviously there's the 9 head coaching openings, so that's what the 9 OC openings as well, and then there's 5 or 6 OC openings currently. That's like 15, he said, And then he brought up a good point to where when some of these head coaches fillings get open or get, when people sign for those head coach jobs, those are going to be some OCs that get those jobs as well, current ones. And that opens up 2 or 3 more OC jobs. So you're going to be sitting there and at some point in this offseason or throughout the offseason, there's going to be almost up to 17, 18 offensive coordinator positions that are open, and you're going to have new OCs around the NFL next year. I think that's one of the most insane things. And he brought up a good point, just saying, like, listen, if you're a team right now without an OC, a fan base, whatever it is, it could take weeks for you to get an OC. And it's not a bad thing. It could be a good thing because you're kind of patiently waiting, but it could take time. And I think Mike McDaniel is such a perfect reason to where he's obviously interviewed for 3 or 4 head coaching positions, Jeff. So he's sitting there waiting to see if he gets one of those. And then he's interviewed for 4 or 5 OC jobs. So if he doesn't, he has to wait to figure out this head coach job. If he doesn't get any of those, then he goes, okay, which OC job do I want to pursue? And then those teams are sitting there waiting for, like, people are going to be waiting for Mike McDaniel. He's going to be kind of the first. I know we said Harbaugh's that first domino to fall. I think it's going to be Mike McDaniel when it comes to the coordinators.
Yeah, you have to think about the playoff teams too. I mean, if you really think about it, I can go, let's see, probably just one. I think there will be one head coach opening after the playoffs if a team gets bounced. And that's going to be the Bills. I think if the Bills lose to the Broncos, the Bills' job is going to open up. So that leaves that's another job that opens up. And there's probably going to be another. I mean, think about it. Clint Kubiak, he'll get hired away to be a head coach.
Seahawks are going to need a new OC.
Seahawks are going to need an OC. You look at, the Rams. The Rams are going to have to bring in somebody if they lose somebody, depending on who that is. You can go around and look at some other teams, and they're going to have to fill staff, given that those guys get hired away. So, I don't know, man. And I'll tell you this.
It's such a thin line of, like, do we hire quick or do we wait? Because you don't want to hire too quick and then lose out on Mike McDaniel or one of the higher up guys because you're being too patient. But you're too patient, you lose out on guys, right? So it's a
what could happen? Think about this. I was thinking about this earlier. Clint Kubiak gets hired away from Seattle. Who's on that staff right now? Jake Peets. Jake Peets is going to get the OC job in Seattle. He's already drawing passing. He's already the passing game coordinator there.
It would be smart.
So think about if you're the Lions. All right. So Mike McDaniel, let's say he takes a job with like the Eagles or something. Jake Peets leaves and takes the job there. Zach Robinson's interviewing for some other jobs. You might be left with basically like Arthur Smith and
come on, dude.
T. Martin. I mean, like this is how interesting this thing is going to get. I mean, you could, you obviously want to land Mike McDaniel, but like if these things could go south quick, like Jake Peets could be Seattle's new OC right after Clint leaves. Maybe you have to settle for Zach. Maybe you get Zach Robinson. I don't know. But is that your number one guy? You're like, fuck. All right, we'll get Zach Robinson. It could get a little tricky, man.
That's why I think it's such a fine line of like, do you want to wait? Like, how do you want to approach it? And I think if you're Dan, it's just, you have to get your top 3 in this cycle, whether you think they sign somewhere or not. You have to get your top 3 if you're Dan Campbell and be like, we have to end up with one of these. And if you feel like one's slipping away or one's that you have to, like, you just have to make sure, okay, I got my top 3. One of these are going to be in Detroit next year. Like if Jake Peets is one of them, then you find, because like at the end of the day, Peets has interviewed for multiple OC jobs this offseason, right? When Shep was the linebackers coach, Shep didn't go out and interview. They knew already in house that they were going to move Shep up. Like Shep didn't go interview for the Jets DC job with Aaron Glenn because they all knew he's going to be the new DC. So you would think if Peets was in his mind, Jeff was like, I'm the next OC, then at that point, he wouldn't have taken all these interviews. Am I wrong? That's got to be good.
That's a good point. I don't know if sometimes coaches will do that to get they'll do that to get a relationship with a team in case Jake Peets becomes OC in Seattle, and then one day the team needs a head coach.
Why didn't Shep do that then?
I don't know. It's a good point. I know some coaches they'll just take interviews just to get experience taking interviews. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's fair.
But
I
no,
think it's a smart thing
you're
to
also
do.
right. You're also right. You're
Yeah.
also right. If he was already a contingent plan, they were going to hire him, then why would he be taking all these interviews? Putting pressure on Seattle. It's like, y'all better promote me because I'm taking a job somewhere else, man. If you guys don't,
Imagine he gets like an AFC.
Tanner
AFC job
Engstrand
and-
did that. Remember, Tanner Engstrand took interviews, and Hank Fraley took interviews, and then Ben left, and they got John Morton. So they didn't even get the guys that they were that were part of their staff that were interviewing for other jobs.
Something about our interview process and our coaches that really just like make me think a little bit. That's all. Dude. It's just I don't know, dude. It's just I can't wrap my head around it. I can't.
Yeah. JSD says, did y'all see Goff and Stafford's numbers when Zach Robinson versus when he left?
That's why I said I wasn't that like big on the Zach Robinson stuff.
Here's the thing though, like, and I know when people say that, like, this is what I want to make, because I know Easy brought that up, and it's very easy to be like, well, he was with Goff when Goff struggled. And I know 2022, 2023, he was the pass game coordinator, but like the Goff argument, like he was the assistant quarterback coach. He wasn't even the quarterback coach, dude. He was the assistant quarterback coach. You think Zach Robinson's like, hey, Goff, throw that pick, bro?
Are you sure he was the assistant?
Yeah, dude. It says assistant quarterbacks coach. But
Hold
he
on.
was in
Give me a sec.
2022, 2023, he was the pass game coordinator, quarterbacks coach with
Then that's the one.
that was with Stafford.
That's
So
2 years. That's 2 seasons. That's 2022 and 2023.
yeah, so that was with Stafford. But people bring up Goff as Goff's turnovers were like, because people don't want to bring up when he was assistant quarterbacks coach with Matthew when they won the Super Bowl. Like, no one wants to bring that up. They're just
Yeah,
like,
he was with the okay. No,
but again,
fair enough.
I'll be consistent. He was the assistant quarterbacks coach is like JT Barrett. JT Barrett was like, are we going to
All right,
credit?
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. You know what? Hey, checkmate. Boom. Done.
Like, bro's throwing with the backup. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not like coaching. Like, hey Goff, throw picks.
Well, you know what JT Barrett does, like as the assistant quarterbacks coach, is
Working with Hendon.
working with Hendon, but when Jared doesn't, like when he's done throwing and no one's throwing, he's like throwing the extra passes to people. So Zach Robinson's out there throwing the extra passes, getting a workout in.
Yeah. Now, the best argument is probably like what happened in 22-23. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's a good point. I'm not saying me and you both agree he's not our top 4 options. But it's like that's all we know they've interviewed. I mean, we don't know who they've interviewed. I don't know. We only have Arthur's. We don't have a lot to really choose from. I mean, I put Nate Shieldhouse. We got Brian Daboll, Davis Webb. We don't even know if they interviewed those guys. So we're just kind of going with who we think.
Dude, if they don't interview some of those guys, that would just blow my mind. I would be
interview like 10 guys.
I would be shocked if they didn't interview those guys. I really would.
10 dudes just to hear them talk ball. Like, just hear them, just get to know them. Like, hey, how would you fix this offense? Like, let me hear your thoughts.
What's crazy is, like, again, Brad's been in the Rams building. He was there. Obviously not with some of these guys, maybe. He was there with Zach Robinson.
I'm sure and by the way, like, do you think they would reach out to Goff if they talked to Zach? You don't think they would be like, hey, Goff, like, you know Zach Robinson?
100%. Oh, no, I bet. Well, no, dude. I bet you Jared Goff's obviously is still in Detroit right now. I bet you Jared Goff is, I don't want to say like he's at all the meetings for OC, but he is maybe not in Detroit, but every single day, I bet you he's waking up. Like, if people think of the NFL all season, like these guys, especially your quarterback, is just going home and out. I bet you he wakes up and has meetings still all day about this OC thing. And he's speaking with Dan, and I bet you almost every single interview that they've done that Jared has spoke with those OCs to see, and he has some sort of say in it. Obviously, he's not going to make the decision.
Yeah, but he's the franchise quarterback. Like, if
they interview 15 offensive coordinators, Jared Goff has talked to 15 offensive coordinators. Like, he's talked to all of them. Like, this isn't a thing, I think, where Jared is not getting communicated. I bet you he is a part of a lot of these interviews.
Well, they did that with Morton, didn't they? Like, I think he had a say in the Morton stuff. He was
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, they're definitely. It's like Baker and Tampa or Jalen. I don't know what's going on in Philly, to be honest, but I know like Baker and Baker's definitely like, okay,
Yeah, as a quarterback, like you would think that if it's a 3-hour-long OC meeting, that the quarterback would be in that meeting for at least an hour, whether it's virtually or not. That he is in that building talking to that OC, figuring out, if they would mesh well together.
Definitely.
If they don't, then that's like a big miss, because what happens if you hire an OC, never talk to the quarterback? You get there and like they hate each other, or they just don't mesh well. That's life right there.
Well, you notice a trend. A lot of the guys are interviewing got ties to that West Coast team that Goff was a part of. So it's clearly there's some maybe some comfortability there, not just because of that, but the system over there. I mean, they're all Sean McVay's a really bright offensive guy. They're definitely checking in on what the Rams are doing. So that's a fact. I'll tell you what, we'll I want to bring up your tweet, and then we'll talk about the draft class stuff because it's a great conversation. But before we do, I have to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. We'll see you guys in a minute. I've interrupted the show to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper, and specifically Sleeper picks for this weekend's game, Rams-Bears. I have the picks for you. I have under or less for Matthew Stafford's passing yards. They're in Chicago. It's going to be colder. 268.5 seems a bit rich. I'm going to go less on that number, more on Devontae Adams' receiving yards, because whoever's guarding him, it's not going to be the number one corner, and we know the Bears can give up some yards. I'm going to go more on Kyron Williams' rushing yards. The Bears' run defense isn't very good, and I'm going to go more on Caleb Williams and his rushing yards, 19.5. I think he scrambles around, makes some plays, extends plays, and gets some rushing yards. Those are my picks. You guys can lock in yours as well. Shout out to our friends over at Sleeper, as always, for sponsoring the show. Now let's get back to it. All right, Boone, you tweeted out a take on Brad Holmes. And we were talking about it before the show, and you tweeted out the old "just a quick thought" tweet, which these always
listen. Yeah, I don't have an opinion. It's not an opinion. This is a thought. This is a factual tweet.
Yeah, just tweeting out your live thoughts. You said here, Brad Holmes drafted a cornerback in the first and second round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Terry Arnold and his Rakestraw. And then you said Howie Roseman drafted a cornerback in the first, second round of the same year. Quinton Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Both of those Eagles cornerbacks were first-team All-Pro in 2025. So, wow. Love seeing that on my timeline. You pissed me off. Congratulations. On a Friday, I'm supposed to have a good weekend, and now you just pissed me off. So, yeah, explain your thought. Because this is one of those moments you look at, and I was talking to you before. It's like two teams at the time entering that draft, championship contenders.
Yes.
Right? Two teams looking to win a Super Bowl. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to see from your vision. All you were doing is just being like, hey man, this team in the championship window drafted these two guys, and they not only contributed right away, but contributed in the Super Bowl to help a team win a Super Bowl. And then this team right here that was trying to win a championship drafted two players that, one, we still don't know if it's good or not, and the second one has not played football for us. Is that a correct?
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people are like think like listen. I don't hate Brad. I love Brad. I think Brad's a great GM. But again, this tweet right here just goes back to it's like kind of like getting over that hump to win a Super Bowl conversation. Like you get to this point, right, in this roster rebuild where you need to continue to hit on picks. And listen, Brad's not going to be perfect, Jeff. Just like Howie Roseman isn't perfect. Howie's missed on picks.
Yeah,
Brad's missed on picks.
Yep.
This is more so like, and especially like last year or in 2024, I apologize. And even last year, if you want to argue, like you need to continue at least to hit on a couple picks in a draft, right? Like you can't continue and go, back-to-back drafts and only get, like I said it the other day where it was like in two drafts, you got like 2, maybe 3 starters on this roster when you got to start paying players and maybe walk away from certain players, and you're only getting, 2 or 3 starters in a 2-year span. Like Howie doesn't do that. Les Snead doesn't do that. Like Les Snead, he didn't have the greatest draft last year, but the year before had a hell of a draft. And like, I'm sure this year he's going to bounce back. And like, just a thought with this, it's like, dude, you obviously, one of your biggest needs coming out of that NFC Championship year was corner, right? Like everyone knew it. It's like kind of going in. Yeah, it's kind of going into this year with the offensive line. It was going into that year. It was very, very big. Like you knew that it was a corner that you needed, whether it was free agency, draft, whatever it was, you needed to address it. And Brad emphasized, and listen, this is where I think this tweet even magnifies a little bit more. Brad emphasized that he does not draft for need. He drafts for BPA, best player available, right?
Yeah.
And it just so happened his BPA was also in the first and second round a player of need at corner.
Yeah.
And you're going into a season where it was a Super Bowl season. You needed players to step up, especially first and second round guys. You needed those guys, right? You needed help. You needed to get over that hump to win a Super Bowl. And Brad Holmes went into that 2024 draft essentially neck and neck, in my opinion, with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Like that was the other contending team, maybe the 49ers arguably, but the Eagles were the other NFC team that you're sitting there going, that's the team we're competing with going into this season. Another team, Jeff, that needed corners. They were getting old at that spot, or they had to pay guys at that corner position, and they made a decision. They needed corners that year in the draft. Two of the top two NFC teams last year, or in 2024, Jeff, both went into that with like mindset. We're getting corners and we're getting the best ones. Howie Roseman went the Quinyon and Cooper DeJean route, and Brad Holmes chose to go the Terrion and Ennis Rakestraw route, right? Like those were two different routes that were chosen. Brad swung and missed, while Howie Roseman went and got two guys that helped them win a Super Bowl that same year. That what you were trying to do, and two guys that started on the Super Bowl team, and Cooper DeJean, who had a pick 6 in the Super Bowl to help win the Super Bowl. And then also those two guys the next year, not just all-pro, they're both first-team all-pro. And then if you want to make the argument, well, both those guys were drafted above. Okay, Brad Holmes, did he not trade up for Terrion Arnold?
He did.
Use draft assets. If you really thought Quinyon Mitchell, which he is, he's first-team all-pro and a Super Bowl champion. If you really believe Quinyon Mitchell was better than Terrion, you moved up 2 picks behind the Eagles. Jeff, you can't tell me, and me and you put our foot downs and hammered the table saying how much better of a corner Quinyon was than Terrion. Like we said it a million times that offseason. If Quinyon is that much better of a corner than TA, you move up 2 or 3 more spots. You already used your assets to go up. Go get Quinyon Mitchell. So that's a decision on Brad Holmes to say, hey, we rather would have TA. We're going to go up and get TA instead of Quinyon. And then it's the same thing on the Ennis Rakestraw thing. You can either move up or listen, I know you don't want to draft, obviously, Cooper DeJean maybe over TA, but at the end of the day, like maybe you could have just sat where you were at what it was, 29th, 30th, whatever, 30th, whatever pick you had there. Let TA go in the draft. Who cares? You go Cooper DeJean if you really need a corner. Turns into an all-pro. And it's like, that's your need, right? Like it's that. So it's like you can make that argument. There are ways to go get those guys still. And the evaluation process, very clearly, like you look hindsight, yeah. But he swung and missed on 2 corners. While Howie Roseman in the same draft swung and not only just got a hit, didn't even get a double. That man hit 2 grand slams with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. First-team all-pros in their first 2 seasons. Like, that's insane. It's insane. And this isn't me, again, Dom in the chat. Booner will bash Brad Holmes when we have a top 3 roster instead of blaming Jared Goff. Listen, this isn't me bashing Brad Holmes. This is just pointing out a statement of, hey, Brad has done a hell of a job of building a roster, does such a good job at building this current roster. But there are position groups and spots throughout this roster where he has tried to approach and he has tried to address, and he has swung and missed constantly. And I think one of the best examples of that is this corner position where he can't figure it out. And then the year, Jeff, that he actually tried to figure it out, your NFC North, I don't want to say rival, but team that you're competing with to win a Super Bowl is literally, and it could not line up any better. Like if Howie got a first-round draft pick corner this year and then a second in a couple years, it is the same draft, the same position in 2 of the same rounds. It's insane how crazy it lines up. And both of your guys, one guy, I don't even know if he's played an NFL game yet. And if he has, I have no clue. And the other guy can't stay healthy. And when he is, all he does is give up flags. And they have 2 first-team all-pros at the same position, in the same draft, and the same round. And then people get mad at me for bringing that up. Like, listen, again, I praise Brad Holmes for all of his great things that he's done. He has dominated in some drafts. But I'm not going to bow down and kiss his feet even when he messes up. And that is one of the most drastic, glowing swing and misses that I have ever seen. I haven't seen anyone bring up this whole corner thing in that draft. It's one of the most glaring misses of all time when it comes to Brad Holmes. Like, one of the most glaring. You literally needed corners. You addressed it. First and second round. How we needed corners. He addressed it. First and second round. How we got 2 first-team All-Pros.
Now, I'll back you up. I'll be like your, I'll fill in the blanks because I already know what people are going to say. Oh, Booner, you expect Brad to be perfect. No, what you're saying is true. And no one is expecting Brad to be perfect, just like Howie's not perfect, Les Snead, Brad Veach. All these great GMs are not perfect. No one is saying Brad has to be perfect. What you're stating is that draft was a big-time draft for 2 teams that were contenders trying to take the next step. Howie's draft took them over the top, arguably, with 2 first-team All-Pros. Brad's draft, you could argue, hindered some of that because you missed on the first 2 picks. One of those you traded up for. Terran Arnold, actually, right now, we don't know completely, but we don't know yet. That's the point. We don't know if he's good or not. That's the point you're making. It's not that Brad has to be perfect, because that's all people want to do. You know, you say something like that. Oh, you're saying Brad has to be perfect. No one's saying that. What you're saying is, man, the timing of missing your first 2 round picks, when you were both with the Eagles right there.
You both needed the same picks or the same players or positions. The fact that I just think it's crazy that it lined up. The Eagles could have gone any other position. They legit went the same 2 positions as you. The same 2.
Yeah. I mean, also, both can be true. Brad, that draft was a big kind of momentum draft from a team that was, you know, in contention, all that stuff. The other thing that can be true is Brad has also had great draft classes. No one's saying the guy can't draft. What you're saying, though, the last 2 draft classes has not been that impressive. And also, let's see ESPN. ESPN ranked all the draft classes from last year. Number 1 from last year, the New Orleans Saints. Shout out to Mickey Loomis, I think his name is. Mickey Loomis out there with New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints, I mean, their draft class have a bunch of guys there. I mean, even all the way to 6th round pick Devin Neal was contributing. So they had a lot of guys that contributed. Cleveland Browns coming at number 2. A lot of guys that contributed. I think the Browns, man, you can argue have like, I mean, Fannin, Judkins, Schlesinger, and Graham. Those are 4 picks straight away that are contributors. Giants at number 3, Carter, Dart, Darius, Scatabo. I mean, that's a really good draft class. You look at the Patriots, Campbell, Henderson, Kyle Williams, Jared Wilson, like guys that are contributing. 5. Okay, so where do you think the Lions are at? Let's go all the way down. So this is last year. So, okay. Falcons, by the way, there you go. James Pierce on that. The Bears coming at 7 on this list. Okay, let's keep going. Boom. Jets are at 10. Oh, gosh. Okay. You keep going. Okay, Titans. Okay, we got to go all the way down. Hold on. Stay with me. 17 Broncos, 18 Eagles. Okay, the Eagles were 18. Okay, maybe. Oh, okay, interesting. 18. Jahad Campbell, Makuba, Ty Robinson. All right, Smale Munden. Okay, a couple guys that are contributors. Not everyone's contributing over there. Interesting. Number 19, Seattle. 20, Houston. 21, the Chiefs. Oh, and coming at 22, the Detroit Lions. That's where they ranked last year's draft class out of 32 teams. 22 from last year. And again, if a couple of these guys turn into all pros next year, then maybe this changes. But as of right now, ESPN has him ranked 22. The reasoning, it says second rounder Tate Ratledge started all 17 games at right guard, although he was below average in both pass block and run block win rates. First round defensive tackle Tyleik Williams started 10 games and played in all but 17 with 18 combined tackles and a sack. Third round wide receiver Isaac Tesla had 16 catches for 239, but 6 of those receptions were touchdowns, mostly of the highlight film variety. The only other Lions draft pick to even play were 5th round guard Miles Frazier, 5 games, no starts, and 7th rounder receiver Dominic Lovett, 12 games, mostly on special teams. So that's the draft class right there. And I will say this. Okay, let me just say this real quick because people are going to get triggered. I don't agree that your entire draft class has to play and contribute, right? Because you have a bunch of really good players. So by default, not everyone's going to play and contribute because you have a lot of good players. But Boone, and for people that are like, well, what do you expect? Do you expect these guys to come in and be starters? No, I expect guys to come in and be contributors.
Yeah.
And this draft class actually has Tyleek contributing, starting, Tesla contributing, Miles Frazier, he's a maybe. We'll see how this draft class go either way. Because like next year, I think Tate could be better, Tyleek. Like this draft class might look better than we think. But when you bring up to your point about the 2024 draft class, that one, you're like, okay, who's really contributing from that draft class? Like Terran Arnold, your first round pick. It's like, you know what I mean? So that's what people are asking for is, are you getting guys that are at least contributing and helping? And not saying everyone has to do that. But with Brad Holmes, it seems like the last 2 years, you have a lot more guys that are in question. Not just are they starters or not, like, are they good players? Are they solid contributors or not? You know, and we don't really know with some of these guys. Like the only guy that made plays consistently was probably Isaac Tesla, to be honest. Like Tate got better, but Tate had his moments. You know, Tyleek Williams, a little shaky. We'll see. He's a first round pick. Miles Frazier.
Yeah, I think it's when you look at some, and I think a lot of people, like the argument that I don't like to hear, if I'm just being honest, like, and we heard this a lot going into last year's draft. And I think a lot of those people took it back and then kind of backtracked on it now looking back. But I think a lot of people last year going into the draft were sitting there being like, well, you really don't have a lot of, you know, Brad doesn't really have to hit because there's not a lot of starting or opening spots on this team, right? Like we heard that so much. Like how many starting spots are open on this team for draft players? It's like that should never even be a conversation because good teams or even great teams, you just draft. And then if guys beat someone out, like just because you have a spot filled now, like just because you have Jack Campbell or you have edge rushers or you have running backs or you have offensive line or receivers, like you should draft the best players that are there. And that's because, like, you know what a good example of that is? Like Kansas City. Remember when they went through that thing where they just kept having to pay corners and instead of paying them, they just kept letting them walk and they just kept drafting corners and every corner they would ever draft just kept coming in and being very good for them.
They would draft replacements, yeah.
Constantly. And they would draft corners knowing they already had all pro corners on their team.
Knowing those guys were in the works.
Yes. And like Brad and even people who cover the team just constantly were in that, well, like, what do you mean? Like, you can't draft the running back or you can't draft an offensive lineman. You already have a good offensive line. You shouldn't draft this position. You already have this position. It's like, that's not how this should work. You should draft dogs. You should draft the best players that are there.
That's what Brad says he does. He drafts.
But he hasn't the last 2 years. He's drafted for need. And it's like, that's been the problem. And it's one of those things where it's like, dude, like last year, it's like, dude, just draft the best player available. Like, what are we trying to, like,
I just don't know. Like,
let guys come in and beat them out.
Is it? I don't know if you could say best player was Tyleek Williams last year. I just don't know if you could like.
No, he wasn't. He was high on their board, but they like. Remember, they were scared that he wasn't going to be there when they were drafting. But it was like he wasn't best player available. Like Jihad Campbell's better than Tyleek, and he was on the board.
He was I think among many, like again, Brad has a different board. I'm not saying that's the same, but at least among the public, or at least the people that do this for a living, cover the draft, scouts and stuff, people mainly had Jihad Campbell, like no doubt above Tyleek.
100%. And what was it? The thing is, it's like even in that draft class that we talk about 2024, me and you both had Quinyon Mitchell like higher than Terrion. I know he wasn't available when they traded up for Terrion, but like if you're ranking it, you're like, are you going to get like, is Terrion going to be as good as Quinyon? No, Quinyon's going to probably be an all-pro. Like we all talked about that. And everyone was talking about, there was people that liked TA, but then it was like the same thing with Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean had a first round grade and he fell all the way to the second round and he went like 5 or 6 picks into the second round. Yeah. And it's like, those are the guys that is like, hey, oh, you want to draft corners? Go get the best that there are. Why an Ennis Rakestraw, who us as a show, we're like, we do not want Ennis Rakestraw. We got killed for our reaction for Ennis Rakestraw because when we saw he got drafted, we were like, oh man, like that was the one player we did it. That was the player we didn't want because all he did was get injured at Mizzou. And we were like, we didn't want him. And they drafted him. And then now for 2 years, what's happened? He's been injured. But it was like Cooper DeJean. We talked about Cooper DeJean that year. We were like, hey, this is a guy, if he falls, you can get a steal for. What does Howie Roseman do? Howie legit goes BPA. Howie didn't go back-to-back corners because they needed 2 corners. He went back-to-back corners because it was like, how the hell is Cooper DeJean sitting here at 38 right now or wherever they draft? Like, how is he still on the board? How is Jihad Campbell sitting at 32 or 31 right now? How? The top 15 player in this draft. And you know what Howie Roseman does? I'm getting him. I don't care. I'm doing it. But Brad's like, I want to be smartest guy in the room. I got my guy. Tyleek. Come on. Come on down.
Yeah.
Give me Tyleek.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. It's
You know
so
what, dude?
like, oh, it's so frustrating.
If I'm in that draft room, I'm saying, give me Sean Murphy. That's what I'm saying. Give me Sean
So I'm
Murphy.
drafting.
Point guard out of the University of Michigan. That's who I'm saying.
Here we go.
Give
Go
me
blue.
Sean Murphy. Playmaker.
Oh, and by the way, Will Johnson. ETN put Will Johnson. Guess what Will Johnson did this year as a rookie? Dude fell to the end of the second round, and guess what happened to him? He's had a better season than
already.
TA and
I know.
Dennis Rickstraw's ever had. And he fell to like 80.
I know.
It's
Yeah, I know.
incredible.
Injuries, which honestly I was surprised. But injuries maybe would have enticed Brad. Let's welcome in our friend here, Sean Murphy. Let's talk some Detroit Pistons. For those, we're switching it up on a Friday. That's why you tune in every day. So we're talking some Pistons, Lions heavy with the coordinator stuff. Let's talk to our good friend, host of From Half Court, covers the Detroit Pistons, does a great job. Moving places too, different setup. Sean Murphy, how we doing?
What's going on, guys? I found out I just got drafted. So, like, do I got to get like stands? Like, do I got to like block? Like,
my God.
What do I got to do?
Dude, is this a new setup? Can we get a full screen on this? Is this a?
Oh, dude, I'm in my new place. I am in undisclosed location near the city of Detroit, and I got a standing desk, so I can much more room for activities over here, man. It's wild.
Sean, you moved to Detroit?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
How did I not hear about this?
I said it on a show like a month or two ago, and you were on it, but that's okay.
No, Boone.
I don't know. No, I didn't know what happened yet. I knew you were going to.
We hear Booner. We hear.
I didn't know the timeline.
No,
I feel like the timeline moved way quicker.
Literally, I got here like the first Monday of January. So the day the Pistons were laying the beat down on the Knicks, I was moving my furniture. So you know, kind of give you a little bit of an idea there.
I don't want this to sound weird. We need a location. Like,
no. Well, I'll give you this.
Well, I mean, we don't need a location because I'm pro not getting doxxed. However, I will tell you offline.
I need a location so I can have an idea where Sean's at.
Undisclosed location, not far from our undisclosed location. Okay,
True.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah. So
wow. So Sean's Wow. Here we go.
Undisclosed locations are not too far from undisclosed locations. So that's what's going on over here.
I think he just doxed you because everyone knows where Jeff lives.
Booner's like, where do you live right now? Tell me exactly.
Send me your address.
They don't know where I live. I lie to the people.
Everyone knows where you live.
I'm everywhere. Sean, let me ask you. All right, there's a lot of shit going on in my social medias, and I'm seeing a lot of things in my Twitter sphere and my X. Pistons are 1 win away. I mean, they play. I mean, they technically could get that 30-win mark. First at least team in the East, playing some pretty good basketball. All right, and we talked to you. It seems like nothing changes. I don't know if people are waiting for the ball to kind of. I mean, maybe this slight fear that things could fall apart. But they're not. And I mean, you got a deep rotation. You got guys playing well. Different guys contributing. I do want to ask you and kind of start off. How are you feeling right now, just overall with the team? Because I do want to get into the trade deadline. But just your thoughts on how well this team has been playing. They kind of bounced back from a loss a couple games ago. You mentioned they beat the Knicks. I mean, I think the big narrative that we discuss with you every time you come on is how serious are the Pistons, and they just keep beating good teams. So I think we have to start having some real conversations here, Sean.
Yeah, I think the NBA community, you know, at least those who haven't been big believers in what the Pistons are doing, have been kind of waiting for that, you know, that metaphorical shoe to drop, and have been kind of saying, okay, who really is the best team in the Eastern Conference? You know, is it Boston? Is it New York? Like which grown-up team is actually the best in the East? Whereas like Detroit keeps coming out and going, no, we're for real, and there's a reason why. And you especially saw like in that game against the Knicks, Cade Cunningham being the two-way star that he is. I mean, Jalen Duren just made Slam, you know, the cover of Slam magazine for a reason. Pretty much, I mean, if you make the cover of Slam about a month before All-Star and don't make All-Star, I would be shocked. But, you know, essentially, you know, a lot of guys getting their recognition, it's because they're playing super high-level basketball. Now, things haven't been perfect. You know, like as we are approaching the trade deadline, one of the things I've been just been keeping an eye on is just like how this team's progressing offensively. And In the last month, since December 15th, which is actually when a lot of the league actually became eligible for trade, it's, gives us about like a 30-day sample size, 14 games. Pistons are 9-5 in that stretch, but offensive rating wise, they are at 114, which is good enough for 16th in the league. They're 0.1 points better, or 0.01 points better than the Spurs. And then they're only 0.3 points better than the Memphis Grizzlies, and only like a point better than the Pelicans, just to give you an idea of like where their half court offense or just their offense as a whole has been in the last month. Now, like you can point out how there's been some games in there without Cade, without Duren, without Toby, and that's absolutely true. However, if you're talking about what the Pistons need to do before the deadline to ensure that they're the favorite in the East that we all think that they can be, is they need to bolster themselves when it comes to shot creation and shot making, whether it be going and getting a Sam Hauser from Boston just to get an additional 3-point shooter, whether it be, going and getting like another 3-and-D wing somewhere else throughout the league. Maybe who knows if Najee Marshall from Dallas is available. The Pistons do have a $13 million trade exception. But the thing is especially when the Pistons have to play in the half court and when Cade Cunningham is neutralized, like it's kind of like comes down to, do you have like 100% faith that Duren's going to be able to go out and like get himself a bucket each and every time if you need him to? And as great as he's been this year, I don't know if you can confidently say he's ready for that in the conference finals, or dare I say the NBA finals. So if there is an opportunity for the Pistons to, to improve, like I do think there's something to be said about not resting on their laurels, but at the same time, with how good this group is, how solid everything's been, like JB has said, his favorite part about this team is you can point to every single player on the team and identify how they've helped this team win games. And that's like just objectively true. Like they've had guys like Chaz Lanier, who hasn't played pretty much all season, coming against the Bulls game, like come in the Bulls game and hit like some major threes, make some really big plays on the defensive side of the ball. You had guys like Tolu Smith, who's a two-way big, who came in, and even though the Pistons lost that game, he had 9 points and 16 rebounds, 4 blocks against the Clippers, going up against Zubac and Brook Lopez, holding his own. Like 1 through 15, the Pistons have guys who can play. They just don't have a whole lot of guys 1 through 15 who can create their own shot. And that's kind of the thing that they need to figure out.
Yeah, Sean, can I ask you, like, because this team
outside of, go right on ahead.
No, actually you can't. Outside of Cade and Jalen Duren, it feels like this team is obviously full of a lot of just very good role players like Tobias, Duncan, Stu, Asar, Ronald. I would say Ronald Holland because I'm reading off the list here. Jaden Ivey, Karis LeVert. Who for you? Like this is kind of like something I've been trying to think about. I actually talked to Caleb about this the other day. Like, who needs to step up the most out of all these role players? Because like you could be like, oh, Ivy needs to maybe give you more, but he doesn't even get the minutes that some of these guys are currently getting right now. Is it Ron Holland? Is it Asar Thompson? Do we need to see more out of Asar Thompson down the stretch for this team to go win a championship? When you're talking about the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say that, look, there's been some performances of late where Karis LeVert hasn't looked the greatest, in my opinion. And sometimes, for someone who's brought in to be kind of one of the primary ball handlers outside of Cade Cunningham, someone who was kind of supposed to, be like the main facilitator of the second unit and someone that they're supposed to really kind of go to as like a stable presence, he just hasn't been that a whole lot. And, like granted, it can kind of be like a consistency thing. Sometimes he is giving you some really good stable play. He is someone where it's not like always like a lack of effort. It's just sometimes he's just trying to make something happen and force something, it's not necessarily within the flow of the game. And he, it's like, whether it's sometimes he's, up midair and, he's trying to, make something happen at the basket, but it's trying to make a pass at the last second, causing turnovers and, fast break opportunities for other teams. Just sometimes not the greatest shot selection. He's kind of having the lowest averages, he is having the lowest averages of his career, at least since his rookie season, when it comes to scoring and some of those other things. So I think if Karis wants to be on the team next year and wants to continue to have like a valued role in this league, like time for him to step up.
Sean, I want to ask you about the trending reports that I saw, and we're going to talk about later. Actually, I think a good fit here. I know you mentioned what the Pistons need, and I know 3-point percentage. They're they got guys that are capable shooters, but they're still around middle of the pack right now in the NBA and making threes. with a guy like Michael Porter Jr., people think is like a seamless fit. And I know there's probably off the court things people bring up about Michael Porter Jr. So again, you have to think about these things when we have a young team with a great culture and you're kind of throwing in another guy, but he is technically, to your standards, bucket getter, efficient player, been relatively healthy ever since he got into the league and had kind of those back issues. What do you think, just looking at the deadline, as like kind of a perfect fit there with a guy like Michael Porter Jr.? He's probably, you're going to cost probably a decent penny there, but seems like a pretty seamless fit. What do you think about those reports that the Pistons are semi-interested, or at least made the call, see what it would cost?
I think Michael Porter Jr. makes the most sense from the standpoint of he's kind of the perfect balance of, he gives you exactly what this team needs while also maintaining, the financial flexibility that the Pistons have been all about. I mean, realistically, he only has another year, on top of Tobias Harris's contract. And, if they could go and get him for Tobias, Jaden Ivey, and a first round pick, and, maybe even a second in there, I think you have to consider that pretty heavily because, he's someone who is pretty young. People forget like how highly touted he was coming out of high school and specifically out of college before the injuries. He was someone that was like in the LeBron stratosphere of prospects. Like that's the level he was being talked about, coming out of high school. And, he's kind of shown with this run in Brooklyn, exactly why that was the case. He's someone who can create his own shot. He's shooting like 40% from 3 on 9 attempts per game. I actually, reached out to someone who worked with him in Denver just to kind of see, like a little bit more insight on, like what would be the challenges of bringing in a Michael Porter Jr. And this is kind of like an abbreviated summary that I got, which is he's having a lot of success this year, partially because he's with a coach who has worked with him before. I love the guy, but he's a different dude. You're going to need someone that knows him and knows how to communicate with him so he buys in. His shot selection is poor at times, but they're all good shots for him. It's going to take time for JB to adjust to that. And so, like he is certainly one of those guys who's like a high level, difficult shot, shot taker and shot maker. But on top of that, he's one of those guys who's shown that he could play in a role in a system before. But some guys just need, someone in their ear a little bit more than others. And so, as far as like the concerns off the court, I've kind of referred to it before of him maybe not, being the sharpest tool in the shed, but a lot of that stuff, to be honest with you, is overblown, especially with how it's viewed in locker rooms. And on top of that, if worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, he is immediately an expiring contract going into the summer. And no disrespect to Jaden Ivey, but like, I don't think at this point that's an asset that you're going to like necessarily be sweating moving off of, especially kind of with what you're, looking to fit. The hardest part is in that scenario is going to be trading away Tobias Harris, who, listen, is, even if he's not at his best on the court this year, that's someone who off the court is still, as much at the foundation and the heartbeat of what this team is as anyone.
Are there any for you when the trade deadline approaches? Is there any sleeper players, Sean, that you like maybe people haven't heard yet, but in your mind you've thought of and you would like the Detroit Pistons to pursue?
Well, I brought this scenario up in November and people called me a madman, but now Michael Scotto of Hoops Height is starting to make it known that the Pistons have their eyes on Jaren Jackson Jr.
Love it, Sean.
In Memphis. I still have my reservations when it comes to the salary cap, especially just because you're adding another guy who's going to be making like $50 million. And that's about what Duran's going to want this summer. And then you have Asar coming up. You have Ron Holland's contract down the road. So if you bring him in, like you have to be 100% sure you know what your foundation is. You're probably trading a Ron in that deal anyway. But nonetheless, like, like if you're talking about making like a big swing, that's certainly someone that, if they are indeed evaluating him, that's fascinating. But I mean, I think the big fish, the perfect fit, the seamless plug and play guy that everyone in the league wants right now, it's just a matter of seeing if he's actually going to be traded or not, is Trey Murphy III from the Pelicans. There's that pre-existing relationship with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, obviously, and Trajan Langdon, knows Trey Murphy was involved in drafting Trey Murphy III. So I feel like if there's anyone that would know, like if that risk is worth taking or not, it's him. But listen, I mean, he's a guy who shoots the three at a high level. He's pretty much a 50-40-90 guy with insane athleticism. He's kind of what he's what everyone built up Mikal Bridges to be a few years ago. And, if Detroit's able to bring him in alongside like a Cade and a lot of these guys, and you're able to do it without, cutting off the entirety of your limb, I think it's something you got to consider.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're past the Anthony Davis discussion. I mean, I don't know what's going on. That was like one rumor at one point, Sean. We were talking about
So-
Anthony Davis.
So I have my theory on that kind of feels corroborated by how things have gone down. But like, if you look at like the way that report was listed, because that came out with Shams literally that week, there's a clip of Rich Paul answering his call on his podcast saying, "You're my guy. I got to answer," and they're like, "Oh, who gives who the news?" He's like, "Don't worry about it." The order in which those teams are listed were the Detroit Pistons, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Toronto Raptors. Once the Pistons essentially put out the feelers that they weren't interested in Anthony Davis, seems like things almost immediately moved on to the Atlanta Hawks, no?
Yeah, so that was more so Anthony's side, probably.
That was Anthony putting out his preferred destinations in order. And once the Pistons said no, he's like, "Atlanta, what up, though?" That's my theory.
Yeah, and that's actually a fair theory.
And you know what? It's a pretty educated theory from being a loser who pays way too much attention. So what do I know?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me, the big question mark is kind of, and I know we've been talking about it, is the role of Jaden Ivey, because he's had good games. At times you'll see flashes of kind of what he was. Not that he isn't, but just him getting comfortable in this rotation, because they do still have a deep rotation. You got Dennis Jenkins kind of was playing the role that he's in and was excelling at it in some games. Dennis Jenkins still plays really well. But it seems like now, to kind of what you were talking about earlier, it seems like we're at a point where it's like, if you do make a trade, Jaden Ivey's probably going to be involved in that trade. It's kind of crazy how we've came to a point where, like, exactly a year ago today, I think people, now I guess the injury would have an effect on that, but healthy Jaden Ivey, when Jaden Ivey was healthy and growing, people were like, "No way, not yet." And now we're at a point, Sean, where it's like, yeah. I mean, he's going to be included in a trade package. Can you just talk about his role and kind of that I guess where we were to where we've gotten to with Jaden Ivey? It seems like it's a complete 180.
Yeah, I mean, the second Jaden Ivey went down with that injury, things immediately began to look uncertain, because the questions were not only what was Jaden Ivey going to look like upon return. The question was, what was this Pistons team going to be like upon return? Because there was essentially an entire calendar year that passed between Jaden's injury to now. And I think what we've seen in that period of time is you've seen someone, in Jaden Ivey who, is still kind of working his way back. But as of right now, just still hasn't quite shown that he's the same player, the same athlete with the same, game-breaking speed that he had. I mean, I saw a clip of like a drive-by dunk he had in Boston a year or two ago. And when you put that against some of the clips, from like the game last night, when he had some moments where things were looking pretty good, it's pretty jarring. I mean, up to this point, Jaden Ivey hasn't really been able to create much or any separation getting to the rim, which is kind of a problem considering the fact that even when his athleticism was at its peak, he still wasn't very good at the rim. And so if he's like a perimeter, like focused guard, that's someone that, is kind of more, we're talking about like a Colin Sexton type player or a Jordan Clarkson type player, where it's like, he can give you some good nights, but like, that's not someone you're going to be putting as one of your franchise pillars, or like, like one of your go-to like first or second options in an offense, like he was, before the unfortunate circumstances. And the Pistons are no longer the same team. The expectations have completely flipped. The narrative is not nearly the same. I mean, that night when he went down against Orlando, the conversations were still about, is this a frisky play-in team? Could this team get their first playoff win in 17 years? All those different things. Whereas now we're talking about the finals and none of us are laughing about it. Like, if you want to talk about like where the Pistons are now versus where they were a year ago, if we said finals a year ago, you'd say like, yeah, no, that's still a little far off. Now, who knows what happens in this East, man? The Pistons have looked as good as anybody up until the middle of January. I mean, Martin Luther King Day's like here on Monday. We're almost halfway, like just about halfway through the season. Who's been better than the Pistons in the East? Who's been better than Cade Cunningham in the East? Who looks more, like formidable to the Oklahoma Cities in the Spurs in the way they like to play than the Pistons do? I can't think of anyone. And so when you talk about like all of those things and the amount of pressure that brings, like the margin for error is not where it used to be. Whereas before with Jaden Ivey, he was able to kind of work through some of his mistakes, find his flow in the offense. Now, each and every game matters because you're playing for home court advantage. You're playing for seeding, for playoff positioning, for matchups down the road. And so as much as I want the Jaden Ivey situation to work, as much as a lot of people in Detroit want the Jaden Ivey situation to work, the unfortunate thing is that the reality and the timeline just might no longer match up. In order for Jaden Ivey to become the player that he can be, and we all think he can be, he might need to go to another situation where the runway is extended again, where he can make mistakes, where he can play his way back into becoming the player we all think he can. And maybe that's Brooklyn. Maybe that's New Orleans. Maybe that's somewhere else. But the reality of it is that as each game and as each day passes by, like the reality of him in a Pistons uniform just looks less and less realistic, especially when you have guys like Danis Jenkins, who you can bring in on a pretty cheap contract, especially compared to what, someone like a Jaden Ivey can command. And even Marcus Sasser, who's had some moments where, quite frankly, I think he's looked more promising at points than Ivey has thus far. And granted, different injuries that they're returning from, much different situations, but I don't think any of us thought we would be saying that a year ago from now.
No, we would not be. We would not be at all. That's a fact. I think it's.
I don't like saying it either. People have labeled me as an Ivy hater. I don't take any joy in saying this. I'm just doing my job, and I feel like that's just saying it how I see it.
Yeah, there's someone out there named Easy that is very excited lately.
No comment.
Yeah, for different reasons. But we appreciate you, Sean. Appreciate the hell out of you. You guys can check out From Half Court.
Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
We'll talk to you soon, brother.
I'll text you guys offline what that I'll disclose to you the undisclosed location, and then we won't put that out in public so I don't get swatted mid crunch time.
Jeff and I will both sign NDAs, so we will not release your address.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's how high profile and how high pressure this is. I'm glad you understand.
There you go. Sean Murphy joining the show, talking to the fellas. Appreciate him as always. We got more to get to. We got Caleb joining. We'll talk to him as well. What are your thoughts on the Pistons this trade deadline, Boone? Because I was digging into some stats earlier, and because I wanted to see get some context where the Pistons are statistically as a team. One thing that stood out to me is the 3-point shooting, which they're probably middle of the pack in, which you can always get better. They have guys that are capable. Duncan Robinson can shoot the three. You have guys that can go streaky when Tobias Harris is healthy. He's not a bad 3-point shooter. Guys that, Danis Jenkins can get streaky. Like there's guys that are capable. But then you also have like a Sar Thompson, Ron Howland, like Jalen Duren isn't attempting threes, like guys that are just not. Jaden Ivey, actually, surprisingly, Jaden Ivey. There you go. Another one who can shoot the three ball. He's shown that this year, but middle of the pack. So you're looking at it like, okay, you probably need a bucket getter. You need someone that Cade can, dump the ball off and someone can go get a bucket, kind of like a younger, better Tobias Harris, because the Pistons are still, and this is interesting. So 13 teams in the NBA average 15 or more turnovers. 13 teams average 15 or more turnovers. Only 5 of them have winning records. Okay. The Pistons are one of those teams. Not only are they one of those teams, they actually average 16 turnovers, one of 2 teams. So they're almost dead last in the league in turnovers. So they turn the ball over a lot. That's the point I'm making. Portland Trailblazers are the only team that averages more turnovers, and they're under 500. So, and everyone around the Pistons are under 500. Now there's teams like the Lakers and the Warriors, like the Lakers, obviously Luka and LeBron.
Yeah.
But I think that says to me, like Cade, I think he's averaging like 5-6 turnovers in the month of January. He's obviously an incredible playmaker. Okay. He's an incredible playmaker. It's what he does. But I think what he really needs, and this is why I think his MVP case should be higher. He just doesn't have a true star next to him. It's just a fact. Like even if Jalen Duren makes an all-star team, I love Jalen Duren. I think he's taken a massive step. I talked about him before the year, taking a step. Yep. He's not like a consistent all-star bucket getter, type.
No, he's not. This is the argument that I've been making with the Pistons for the last year. It's like, hey, you need that too. You need it. Like if you want to win a championship,
that would help the turnovers for sure.
Yeah, you can win a championship obviously with a lot of really good role players. Like we've seen it done a while ago. But one of the things in today's NBA, it's like, dude, you do need another star next to you. I would argue like a Jaren Jackson could be that guy next to Cade. Right, with on top of obviously Jalen Duren and Asar, and then you can keep going with that. But you need to go out. Like, that's where I think it's like, I think you're at the point now this year, and I think everyone agrees with this. This Pistons team can go make a run at a championship. You need to make a move at the trade. Remember how last year Trajan made the point of, hey, we might want to just stick with our guys and see where this goes. You know where it's going. You know what it is at this point, right? Like, that's where I'm with you, Jeff. It's, hey, obviously Cade and Jalen Duren are your two guys. Now it's time to make a move to bring in that number two, that like clear number two star. So when the playoffs come, like, it's a different game, and you got to go in there and you got to be ready to go. And you'll see the stars separate from everyone else in the playoffs. You need that guy with Cade Cunningham. And then and imagine even adding that with Jalen Duren. I mean, that team's going to be very good, and they're going to have a chance to win a championship if you add the right piece. And I think it's finally that offseason. I don't know if, or not the offseason, but the trade deadline to do it. I don't know if Trajan's going to do it, but I would think the fact that now we've heard multiple times throughout this season now that the Pistons are involved or in conversations in regards to specific players that are number twos, then in my mind, like, let's connect the dots. Trajan's looking for a number two for Cade, and he knows that he needs it, and he knows that he wants it. So it's just about who is it and how much you're giving up to do it. I always thought about this too. Do you think Jalen or Jaden Ivey had like a bigger trade value in the last year or two before? Like, do you think they missed on not just pulling the trigger on getting rid of him before this year?
That is a good conversation, because people always, and I love this about sports, whenever people want to like dump a player, it's like, okay, I'm ready to dump the player. But it's like, if you don't want him, not that he's a bad player, but like if you're thinking about getting rid of him,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because his value this year, like, quite frankly, like, just call it what it is. Like, his value's gone down a little bit. Like, it's not what it was.
He came off a big injury. Like, yeah.
But I even think, like, and this is going to sound crazy, but I even think when he had the injury, there was the unknown of what he did before, averaging 18 to 20 points a game. You know, he was kind of the Pistons, when Cade was out, he was kind of that number two, to where that injury happens, Jeff, and, like, no one really knows when it comes back. You probably could have traded him and sold the team being like, he's adult. He'll get you 20 a night. Where now you look at it and he's like, you have this team already established. He comes in as a role player now, a little lower on that. And it's harder to sell to teams like, hey, this is a guy that's going to get you 20 a night, because you can't sell that anymore. Where last summer when he was hurt and recovering, Trajan could have easily been like, we know we're good without him. We could easily sell a team a good, throw him in a pretty good package because of what he did before. Now his value's gone down.
Yeah, and he's had, I think his stock lately, he's been playing pretty good basketball. I think he's finding a fit. Maybe that can increase. Because he's not playing bad. Like Sean said, it's just he's slowly kind of showing it's the explosive ability. That's like his biggest selling point, is he's an incredible athlete. He's explosive. He's shown he can shoot the three ball. So like, maybe there's a team out there that's like, hey, if we let this guy at least be like a number one here, maybe a bad team that's like, we need a guy here. Maybe Jaden Ivey can blossom. But yeah, I'm with you though. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if you throw him in, it's not going to be like Jaden Ivey for so-and-so. It's going to be Ivy, Tobias, extra assets for somebody like Michael Porter Jr., which we'll talk to Caleb about that as well. But yeah, Trey Murphy is going to be even more expensive. Like,
I want to talk some football with Caleb.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to hear. I feel like we always have him on. We get right into pick. I want to talk to some of this football stuff with this man. I really do.
I don't know if I want to talk to this guy. I just don't know if I want to. I really, I don't. I really don't know if I want to do it. It's so annoying. Caleb Czarnik, host of Saturday Mornings with Crunch Time. Caleb, how we doing?
Good evening, gentlemen. It's great to see you both. Booner, Jeff.
Caleb, what's up, man? How are we?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Jeff, usually you have really kind words for me before I hop on. Today, I think verbatim, Booner, this guy said, I don't feel like talking to him. I don't think that's very nice to say. But, Jeff, I'm hopefully this hatred you have for me can kind of just
it'll subside in a couple weeks.
He needs to take all that energy and like prepare like eating McDonald's.
Yes. We don't need to talk about that right now, though. I know it's in his head 24/7. So
there is a good plan. Listen, and I'm going to tell you straight up, Caleb. I went over a plan with him, in regards to it. So for people who don't know, Caleb right now is 5 games ahead with, I believe it's 7 games remaining. So Caleb, I told him this, Caleb, he has to, if he wants any chance.
Can I stop you right there? I'm sorry. Can I stop you right there, Booner? There is no plan when I keep picking winners.
Well, no.
Winning,
Hold on. He has to fade every single one of your picks moving forward. And if you go 2-5 to end the season, then you guys are tied and we have to do a tiebreaker. And I told him, like, and this isn't a mean towards you, Caleb, because I've gone on these stretches. I've gone on 0-7 stretches. Caleb you could easily go on a 2-5. 2-5 is not that crazy to hope for. Like, if he faded every one of your picks and you go to it, like, that's I think it's a little more pressure on you to go 5-2.
And then we have a tie, which would have to be a whole nother discussion.
So mathematically, if I win 3 games, I'm in.
You're good. Yes.
Okay, I'll get that.
But if you like, 3 is the magic number for you. But if you only win 2 out of these last 7, we get a tie, and then I think we have to figure out a tiebreaker, and that comes to me as a commissioner. I'll probably talk to the chat about it.
Stand up.
But we'll have to maybe we'll do like a 1 mile race or something. I don't know.
Oh, come on, dude. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. Come on.
No, I'm sorry. That was really mean. But that was
I like that one.
That was funny. But no, that I'm just letting you know the situation, Caleb, because that's the plan, I think, for Jeff. That's the only way he has a chance at really. He has to put the pressure all on you.
Don't matter to me. I like the pressure. You know,
I might have an undefeated card this weekend.
Uh-oh.
What are you saying? I'm going 0-4?
Yeah, I mean, we could start just nasty. I mean, we could start nasty.
Right. What I really do, and I'm Caleb, I'm sorry, I told Jeff this, like, content mine, I really want to go into the Super Bowl to where you only have like 1 win or 2 wins, and you have to win the Super Bowl pick to win.
That'd be and if you great. Come on, Caleb, that would be a legend.
Like, you both are on your own side.
I don't want to be in that situation. Like, I don't want to.
I would love it. That would be one.
The bowl, and it's like, this one means more.
And I told Jeff, if that happens, you both have to, like, we're gonna order you guys gear for it for each team you picked, and like. I'm out, like, dude, that would be one of the greatest, I think, Super Bowls I've ever had in my life, since we've never got a Lions win.
This one is different. It's like what if it's like Matthew or like Chicago or something, and I have to like try and change the narrative. I have to go with the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. Like,
you have to wear the gear too, which is like even worse. So whoever ends up
would have a field day with that. No, I'm kind of hoping this is gonna happen.
I almost see, like, if I'm Caleb, I would just purposely pick against the Bears so Jeff has to wear Bears gear. Like, that would be so funny.
Oh, dude. That's
a hat and a sweatshirt, the Bears chain.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be disgusting. But I have to do it. I'm not avoiding.
You both do. Yeah, you both have to wear the gear if that ends up happening. That'd be electric. And it's like you guys are sweating out who gets the McDonald's. You have to, like, listen to the halftime show. What's his name? Who's the halftime show? I've never heard a song of his before.
Come on, Jeff, you know it.
Oh, Bad Bunny.
I almost said Benny Blanco. I don't know why. It was so Benny
Shout out Benny Blanco.
Bad Bunny. I've never heard a Bad Bunny song. Never.
I think I'm right there with you. I don't think I have either. People like him though.
Hey, Caleb, what have you thought of are you stressing out this Mike McDaniel stuff? What's going on with you?
I'm waiting for the notification. You
might be waiting for a couple weeks.
You're gonna be waiting a long time.
I think you guys said it earlier that the Lions' decision, or I guess everybody's decision on their OCs, is going to take forever because all of these coaches have to go through head coaching interviews as well. But he's the perfect fit, man. There is no reason why the Lions shouldn't go all in on a guy like Mike McDaniel. When you look at his resume, look what he's done with Miami, with these specific players like Devon Achane. We have a guy like that in Jahmyr Gibbs. Mike McDaniel can get the most out of Jahmyr Gibbs. Mike McDaniel's whole offense, a lot of it is timing, and you have one of the best timing quarterbacks in the NFL in Jared Goff. I think he would excel in a Mike McDaniel's offense. He's the perfect fit. I'm hoping it happens, but like you guys said, we're gonna have to wait a long, long time.
Who do you want if we don't get Mike McDaniel?
I mean, Kafka is a pretty good candidate. Also, the pass game coordinator from the Rams. I can never pronounce his last name. What is it?
Nate Scheelhaus.
Scheelhaus. Yeah, that's a good one too. I saw Booner. You put Dable at your number 3.
I mean, he's a vet, dude. He's experienced.
I think there was, Jeff, you brought it up too a couple months ago, and people really disagreed with you. I like Dable. I think he'd be a good coach here. I think the one thing about Dable is, am I incorrect of saying that people think he's like an unlikable guy, like that he gets in a lot of arguments and everything in the Giants building? That kind of stuff is like, you have Dan Campbell who built this culture. And yeah, I like Dable as well. But I'm just hoping they pick a right guy with experience and someone that's ran an offense before and has called plays in the NFL before. That's important as well.
Yeah, we get so obsessed with, maybe it's not all a Dable thing, but just in general with like culture. And culture's important, but people think that certain players or coaches in this instance can ruin a culture when you already have insulated like a grit culture. To me, is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, that's why I believe that if you're selecting a player like James Pierce Jr. or Jalen Carter, who have these, reportedly had lost his shit on the field or off the field, unless it's like bad, like, criminal charges or something. Like really bad criminal charge. I'm not saying like a speeding ticket, okay? Because I know players in Georgia be getting speeding tickets, but something really bad, like James Pierce. You don't think James Pierce in this locker room would be fine? I mean, really? Yeah. Like Dayball, it's like, is Dayball going to come in here and be like, hey, douchebags, this whole offense is going to shit because I'm going to call everyone a douchebag and be mad? It's like, no, you know what? You're going to be fine. It's going to be all right. He's not going to be a dickhead. It's fine. It's a culture that you've created. It's not going to be affected. So I think that stuff gets overblown sometimes.
Well, I think that's what they did with Johnny Moe too, is because I feel like Dan Campbell felt like he fit their culture very well. But I think their offensive coordinator search is a little bit different than how they approached it last year. You see they're going after guys that, bigger names, honestly, like a guy like McDaniel. So I like to see that. But Jeff, you bring up guys like, James Pierce and Carter. You know what those guys do? Yeah, they might be allegedly dickheads off the field or do stupid stuff off the field. They win you football games. So, I mean, that's really all it comes down to. So, I mean, if Dayball's a dickhead, but he calls a good offense, bring him in.
Yeah. I just want to win. That's all they need to look at. Exactly. Like, we just want to win. There's no more.
Like, you're nice to me, so I like you.
Yeah, it's just like the main goal in the NFL is to win football games, and I think they're maybe realizing that. And the John Morton thing was like, hey, it was like one of those. I think Caleb, you said it. I use it all the time now, like the family business thing. And it's like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's just. I thought I was convinced, dude. I got hypnotized. I thought John Morton was about to be the greatest thing ever in Detroit.
I was right there with you.
And then all of a sudden, it was just like. And then there was even moments, I think the people who didn't think he was going to be good after like week 4 and 5, they were like, hey, John Morton, after that Ravens game, like, Johnny Moe. And then it started to fall downhill pretty fast. And they obviously just made the switch. So you just can't mess up this hire. You can't. No, you can't. You got to hit on it.
Johnny Moe is going to be a meme in Detroit for a long time.
Johnny Moe show?
I mean, dude, you have all of this is the best OC job in the entire league, and Johnny Moe found a way to mess it up. I mean, everybody wanted this job. You have weapons out the wazoo. You have a veteran quarterback. You have a coach in Dan Campbell who trusts his coordinator like he did with Ben Johnson, and he screwed it up. I mean, Johnny Moe is going to be a meme in Detroit for a long time, and all the reports after he got his play calling duties taken away was like, oh, he's still doing so much for this offense. He does this, does that. No, I mean, come on. It was Dan Campbell's offense from.
Yeah, but that's where some of that stuff is for PR reasons. We now know because Mike Kafka had his play calling duties taken away with the Giants with Dayball, and then Dayball gave it back to him. And so that's like the definition of like, I'm going to take it away, but he still has something there. You took it away from John. Not only did you not give it back, you didn't even keep him in a different role. You fired him. Like that should tell you, like,
he wasn't even like, hey, we would be the pass game coordinator. Hey, you'll do no.
See you later.
He just sat up there chewing bubble gum for 48 minutes 60 minutes every single week.
While Johnny Martin was like, I would love to stay here.
By the way,
like I would love to be here. He's like, sorry, no.
Was Klotz right about the box?
Absolutely, he was right about that. Absolutely, he was right about it. Absolutely, he was right about it.
Tough luck, dude. Shouldn't have been in the box.
Honestly, who's another good besides Joe Brady? Is Joe
Todd
Brady the only?
Todd Monken.
Okay, sure.
I mean, there's always going to be. Let's be honest, though. There's always going to be the what if. Now, like, what if he was on the field?
No, there's no what if. I don't even care anymore. Like,
what if there was no box? Would he be the greatest ever if there was no box?
That's all. That could be a thing.
He might be the greatest OC of all time
if he was
when he's outside the box.
Box conspiracy.
We'll never know.
Conspiracy.
Dan should have, instead of taking play calling right away, he should have been like, come out of the box for one game. Let's see what happens.
I'm surprised. Like when he was getting all this shit when the Lions offense was underperforming, why did he not just try it? Like, why did he not come down? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like,
why did he not come out of the box?
Like fucking spaceship in the fucking stadium, just up looking down at everybody in his Johnny Mo box, just looking down, going, these fucking peasants, man. You know, looking down at these peasants.
Why did he not come out of the box, man?
He didn't come out of the box. He stayed in his little box up there with his little headset with the boy. Yeah, probably with a DC. Had a little DC next to him. You know, didn't work out. You know, and then
Joe Brady's in the box.
Because here's the thing.
I said that, but him and like Jeff said, Monken, they might be the only two offensive coordinators that are in the box.
Well, imagine like some of the cold games. It's like freezing in Philly, and John Morton's just in the box, like with like the heat on.
He's all good. He's in a t-shirt.
His offense has 100 yards total in the fourth quarter, and he's there up with a blanket on. He's like, "Oh, it's cozy up here."
Yeah, he just feels good. He's like
to be down there doing what they're doing. That sucks.
He has a fireplace going. Like he's just living life.
Yeah, got some hot cocoa up there. Johnny Mo's just having time of his life. I mean,
for Johnny Mo, man. What is he gonna do now? I mean, does he not have a job next year? I kind of feel bad. I thought he was at least gonna be on staff this year, like assistant quarterback coach or something.
He'll get a job somewhere because I think he's a guy like Sean Payton liked having him around. I just don't. He'll never call plays again. I mean, he'll never call plays.
Poor guy, man.
Which and I hate him. I hate saying that like it's like I'm dunking on the guy. It's just the truth. Like he's at his age, he's done it twice. He got fired.
Honestly, dude, and I'm just gonna be quite honest. You gotta feel for a guy who is literally sleeps at the facility to be so great and gets fired still. You know how bad you got to be to just put your whole. I feel so bad saying it,
it's so bad.
But it's like, dude, if I'm like sleeping at the office just to get like do crunch time, it's like I'm here every night until 5 a.m. I'm going to sleep, wake up, do it, and it's like, oh, you get fired. Like, oh, that sucks, man. All those hours just to get fired has to be like the most heartbreaking. Oh, dude, I feel bad. I don't know why I'm smiling. I'm smiling because this is a very awkward conversation.
No, I mean, you never want to see another man lose their job, but he was bad at it.
There's a lot of Americans that do that and get fired, get laid off. And, hey, it's part of life. It's unfortunate for Johnny Mo. I think his best trait is his work ethic. Maybe he wasn't always.
Yeah, yes.
He didn't just get it. He didn't just get things, but he worked his tail off. There's some guys that are just kind of.
He might just be a really good like assistant when it comes to like maybe like a pass game coordinator or like getting plays ready, film this, like
he might go back to Denver. Watch Davis Webb get a job and he goes and replaces.
Yeah, or even he just becomes like an associate, not associate head coach, but he becomes like Sean Payton's right hand guy because Sean Payton calls plays. I hope we get to talk to Sean Payton again at the combine this year. I would just bring up Johnny Morton. Like thoughts on Johnny Mo?
Johnny's a smart guy, man.
Love Johnny, man. That's my guy. What if and then it's like as we're talking to Sean, John comes out of the corner outside of the hotel, like, boys.
No, he'll say, "Boom!" He goes,
"Boom!"
Hey.
I heard you were laughing at me for getting fired, dude.
Yeah,
I'll be like, Johnny, what about the box, man?
The last dude I want to see. I'm honest on this show. Last dude I want to see is Calvin Shepard. Based on how I've been talking the last couple weeks, listen. I'm very critical of Calvin Shepard. All right. He would whoop my ass. That's very obvious. Yeah. Okay. Calvin Shepard
would destroy you.
He would destroy. He's a former linebacker.
I don't know about me. He would destroy you. I'm kidding. No, he would destroy
that
me
guy.
Too.
He's a big man. This isn't about that. I would say I would be out. Hey, Calvin, listen, All respect for you as a player. You've done a lot in your career. All right. To be able to be a player, play in the NFL as long as you have, to be a coach in this league. You're a smart guy. Lions just don't have time to kind of groom you, Kelvin.
He'd beat you up. He would beat you up at that point.
And at that, though, as soon as that, I'm getting smacked.
Yeah, you're getting beat up.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's just, it is what it is. Shout out Kelvin. Great guy. I've heard some things about Calvin Shepard, some off the field things, but great guy. Okay, that's all I'll say.
Do you want to address?
Well,
no, don't do it. Don't do it. I know what it is. Do not.
Okay.
Just leave. Do not.
Okay. I mean, it's public.
I don't know how I
have,
almost got you to do that.
It's not even like we have a source. It's literally public information. Like he's pretty open.
No, but one of the parts is not pub. I don't think is as public as. No, even if it's public, it's something that people you should not. This is all allegedly. Let's stop. Like, can we just stop, Jeff? You shouldn't have.
Yep.
No, you shouldn't have said that.
Can I say one of the public things?
No, you should not say any of it, Jeff. You should stop right now. Let's move on.
Enough.
We can have this conversation, and then if we want to present it to the people, we can.
Do you guys think there's a chance that he gets that Miami? He interviewed for that Miami job, correct?
I don't know. I did see I think so one of the reporters tweeted out and said there's going to be a job that's like a shock to everyone. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, Shep. Like, I think that's just because I want it to happen.
Yes,
but as soon as I saw, I was like, there's a head coaching job that's basically filled that is going to be a shocking hire. And instantly, I was like, oh my.
Can we do something? How about with this? As a team, with our following, with our platform here at Crunch Time Sports, can we start a Kelvin Shepard to Miami? Like, let's start praising him the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest leaders in the NFL, man.
Let's just start tweeting out like this guy. He's going to be a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be a head coach this year, man. He deserves it.
I think
remember LSU almost wanted him. I mean, it's LSU. Why would
Miami not? LSU. He could have went to LSU if he wanted to. Miami would have a steal if they got Kelvin Shepard.
Dude, I mean, look at that Pittsburgh game. If you take away like 6 plays out of that game,
he's the greatest DC this year.
Exactly. Like, I mean,
what's funny? I tweeted out like after like week 3 or 4 or something, and I tweeted out like this guy's going to be a head coach one day because he can lead men.
Mm-hmm.
So I should bring that tweet back up and be like, see, the guy can lead. He can lead. I think that tweet blew up, actually. Surprised no one's used that to try and dunk on me, even though it's irrelevant because they were good in the first like 3 weeks. But,
that's kind of funny.
But yeah, I think he has that trait for sure. He can lead men. Players love him. There's no denying that. Players love him. I just don't think he's a good fit for DC, but who am I? Just a guy with a microphone. That's what it is, Caleb.
Do the player? Yeah, I think the players do love him. Never mind.
They
I was
do.
going to say when you're losing though, and like when you're losing and like your defense lost its identity to a sense. Like even Jack Campbell at the end of the year had his interview and he was like, "Yeah, we just need to win. Like we need to get back." When you start hearing players, we need to get back to where we were. Like that means that year. I mean, you lost your identity essentially, and they lost it under him. This
think
year.
About the offensive side. They didn't like John Morton. That's a fact. Because and speaking to people that cover the team, on top of that, even watching the press conferences, even like remember the press conference where John Morton went up there and blamed the O-line, and then the O-line said something different.
It was crazy.
Like, bro, like that's obvious. Like clearly the players stopped. They just don't like him. Like,
and it was Decker,
why he was
a veteran of the league in a long time, for a long time. Yeah,
which is why he was fired. Because if you're fired, that means they don't want you a part of that locker room. I mean, that's
but for Shep, he is a player's coach. So if something does end up happening, like I don't think it will. Like I don't think they're obviously not searching for a new defensive coordinator right now. But Shep is a guy I would still want in the building. Like he was such a good linebackers coach. The players really like him. So that if they do decide to go in a different direction at defensive corner, which at this point I don't think they are, I would still like Shep in the building, but I don't think he would accept a demotion. I just don't think that's in the cards. He just interviewed for a head coaching job, but yeah, he's a player's coach. Just the defense was frustrating a lot this year, and they lost their identity late in the year. And I think a lot of that is schematic. So hopefully he gets it figured out. Yeah,
he'll be back.
He'll be back.
He's coming.
Hopefully they get it figured out.
Yeah, he very well could. I've always said that too. Like, he could be good this year. I'm not saying the guy has no chance to be good. I just didn't like what I saw to end the year, and I don't think the Lions have time to figure it out. So to figure out if he'll be good, I think you need to get someone proven. But anyway, who am I? Whatever.
Jeff Iafrate.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't play in the NFL, as some guys in the city would say that cover the team. You didn't play in the league. You can't comment on it.
That's true. Could you play in the league right now? You could end that narrative and go play in the league.
I think my best chance would be a kicker.
Yeah, I already know my best chance. You guys know my position, long snapper. I think I could, if I had to, if they were like, hey, Booner, you have 2 years to prepare or you're going to drop dead in front of everyone. You pick a position, I think long snapper, I could do it.
Snap. Would you thrive at the blocking after the snap?
You don't need a block as a long snapper.
Hogan Hatton. Oh,
he doesn't block.
Yeah,
no one lines up. So
true.
Field goal, no one lines up across from you. Punt return or punt.
Actually,
you're solo running down the punt returners. If you watch them, they're just solo running down the field to get the tackler. No one's touching them. Hogan is on his own. He is out there one-on-one tackling. Now listen, I can't promise I could be a good tackler. There will be effort there.
You're going to have effort, yeah.
Hopefully I have like Trevor Nowatzki and Jack Campbell backing me up. That's my plan. Yeah. But I will, if I had like 6 months to prepare the snap and get into a little bit of shape, I would be able to get into a little bit shape and I would be able to get a snap perfect. I could figure it out.
I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I was like a freshman in high school. One of the most athletic kids on the team. He was like, he wanted to be the long snapper. And we're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we need you at other places. And he kept being the long snapper for all 4 years. Shout out Greg Tarr. Ended up being the starting long snapper for Michigan this year. So,
that's a good decision from him.
Yeah, it was. He went to all these camps and he was like, we're like, holy shit, Greg.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Shout out Greg. Yeah, starting long snapper for Michigan.
Shout out Greg, the long snapper.
We were all kind of making fun of him. Like, dude, why are you being the long snapper right now? Like, you should probably be like a receiver or something. It's like, no, I'm gonna do this. So yeah, and then he went to Michigan and I didn't. So who won that? Greg Tarr did. Not
who won that? Greg, yeah, wow. And if he can make $500,000 in the league just being a long snapper.
Dude, he might go to the league. I mean, he was a good long snapper. Did you see Michigan fumble any snaps this year?
I saw them miss a lot of field goals.
But that's not on him.
True.
Could it be on the long snapper though?
I don't know. I'm not doing that to my boy Greg.
Yeah, Greg. It's not on Greg. It's the holder, whoever the holder is, or it's the kicker. It's the kicker. He sucked anyways. We got a new transfer coming in anyways, so we can blame the kicker.
They got their guy.
Oh, we got a guy.
Big signing. The
huge kicker sign. And we got a new. Oh wait, no.
You guys need a quarterback coach too.
Wait,
crazy news. I mean,
hold
you guys
on.
need a quarterback coach.
Hold on, Caleb. Michigan portal ads. I might have bad news for you, Caleb.
For me.
Yeah.
You guys got a good corner from like Utah or something.
Hold on a second. We got a kicker. I think we got a kicker, a punter. We might have gotten a long snapper.
No, he's done. He's graduated. He's done.
Greg?
Yeah, he's Greg Tarr.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, I think we got a long snappy transfer.
I think he's done. I mean,
we got a kicker and a punter for sure.
That's good. You guys are set now.
Oh,
Underwood's
dude, we're
good now.
But we're in a great spot.
That is so bizarre that they didn't have a quarterback coach last year. That is, I mean,
one of the craziest in all of sports.
That is
not
great.
Even just college football.
You just paid Bryce Underwood $10 million and you don't have a quarterback coach for him. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That program was a joke for a year with under Sean Moore. The fact that they let him be the coach is insane.
Crazy.
I told Jeff, I was like, Bryce Underwood was just like after practice, like, hey, coach, can we work on some quarterback drills? No, I'm going to go have sex with my mistress. Like, what, dude? Like, what?
Dude,
go work with your quarterback, man.
You know how Prime has his son following around with a camera? They should have. Man, that would have been a great reality show. Man.
Oh, dude.
Someone just following around.
Imagine if there was Hard Knocks for college football, and Michigan was last year's team. That would have been one of the greatest films in the history of films.
That would have been crazy. Oh my goodness. I mean, Sharon. He would have said no to it because he knew what he was doing. I mean, he was cheating on his wife and destroying his family.
It would have been like Love Island over there, dude, in Ann Arbor. I mean, that
it's a dating reality show.
Shout out Sharon Moore, man.
Don't shout out Sharon Moore.
All right, dude. Comes down to this.
It does. I mean, Jeff, you really don't have to do much thinking here.
No, Jeff does zero thinking. Jeff, don't even overthink.
Yeah,
this.
but I have my picks in my head of what I like this weekend, and I'm just praying Caleb goes opposite.
There's
Jeff,
two that I really like. There's two that I am very kind of unsure on. So,
Jeff, do something for me right now. Your 4 picks, text me them because I want to be able to see who you actually wanted, and then at the end, I'll reveal who you put.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Just so I can be like the one that reveals it. So because you could easily just lie and be like, I got all 4.
Yeah. I'll start doing that because last weekend me and Boone were talking. We would have had the same record last weekend.
Yeah, if he just stuck with his. Yeah,
because the only game I missed, I picked the Eagles because I actually that was a good one where I was like, yes. I like the Eagles in that game. They lost, but everything else we would have had the same pick. So
we got that late text from Jeff Boone. He's like, what was it? What team? He's like, I need the Eagles here, man. I'm 1 game out, and I go, dude, I'm like 4-1 right now. You're 5 games below me.
Yeah,
you were still like Caleb had a hot weekend, but he's had back-to-back hot weekends, which means Caleb not to do. It means either he's hot right now or he's due. Or he's due to have a bad year.
Hot streaks go cold and cold streaks go hot. That's what they say. Yeah. So maybe I'm going to go.
Or hot streaks stay hot, cold streaks stay cold. We'll find out.
True.
Oh, no.
True. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Maybe
about that side.
No, am I up?
Like I want you in the middle, Boone, because then I just want to make me and Caleb squaring off. All right. Like we're the UFC, like the 3 fight posters where we're like square it off.
Boone's just in the middle.
Just the main event.
So
only goes back.
Welcome
You're like
to
you are.
the divisional round of the Crunch Time.
Or I guess Bruce Buffer too, actually.
Yeah.
You're kind of both.
What does he say? Like, are you ready? No, that's definitely not.
No.
That was so far now.
He says it's time, but it's
It's time. By the way, there's back-to-back weekends of major UFC events, by the way.
Yeah.
So next weekend we need to lock in. We are going to watch my guy fights next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, Patty the Patty.
Yeah,
Sean O'Malley, co-main, actually. He got moved up to the co-main. Yep. So, and then the next weekend, I don't know who it is, but I know it's another, I call them numbered events. I don't know if that's what they're actually called, but
they are numbered. UFC. Yeah.
So back-to-back weekends of numbered events. So we will find somewhere. We got to watch them, boys. All right. First game on the docket. Caleb, I'm just going to have you go first every time, just because I want you two to go at it here. Actually,
no.
You have to go first.
Okay, that's all.
Like change the rules here.
Yeah,
well, because I'm really invested.
Your pick won't affect us anyway. I mean, it won't.
But I think I'm pretty close to catching you.
Yeah, you're 2 games back. You're
okay,
right
Joey tried to do that. Yeah, you go first.
I'm so good at sometimes just messing with your mind.
Commish tries to pull some like fucking scandal. Yeah.
Oh man. All commissions do, man. I wouldn't be a real commish if I didn't try to do something, sneaky.
David Stern over here with the fucking lottery.
All right, first game. Bills are on the road versus the Denver Broncos, not the Nuggets. The Broncos are 1.5 point favorites. I'm gonna go Bills here, boys. I think Josh Allen really does make it to the Super Bowl. I think this is his year where he finally gets it done. And I know the Broncos defense is really good. It feels like this is just a destiny pick. Like there's just no way like Josh Allen doesn't get to this, at least the AFC Championship game. So I have to go the Bills, just based off of the NFL script. What a way to pick that game.
Okay, well, we laugh about it, Boone, but that's exactly the way I'm picking this game. Because I'm going to take the Bills because I think Josh Allen's going to the Super Bowl.
Dude, that's so funny that we both.
Are we getting them? Plus 1.5 or minus 1.5, Booner?
It's plus 1.5. They're underdogs.
Okay, the line to start the week was minus 1.5 on the road. Obviously, some line movement there. Probably some good money going to the Broncos at plus money. I'm going to take the Bills here on the road. Look, the Broncos got a week off, but sometimes that's not a good thing. They could be rusty offensively. Josh Allen is Superman. Give me the Bills plus 1.5. I think he's going to will his way to another win in the playoffs.
Love that.
So give me the Bills.
All right, so Jeff has Denver.
I like this. I like.
Did you
this.
text me your picks?
I'm writing them down. I could text.
No,
them,
come on.
Text me all
not
4
yet.
of your picks, the ones that you want before.
Like while I'm thinking.
Yeah, just text me all 4 because you already know the games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just text me.
Okay.
Text me your picks.
I think he said he likes this, so I think he probably had Denver.
I'm not going to reveal until the very end. So
That's fair. It's fair.
All right. I'm picking the last one.
should we just keep going and just let you?
Keep going, 'cause it's not.
All right. Next, so yeah, we'll reveal Jeff's what he has and what he actually wanted. 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites. I'm going to go the 49ers with the touchdown. I think in the playoffs, I know Seattle just beat them really big, but I just think in the playoffs, no George Kittle, whatever it is, this 49er team is just going to stick around, and it feels like a touchdown. I don't see a world the 49ers team gets blown out, even if it's versus the best team in the NFL. I'll take the 7.5, especially with the half there. I'll take that with the 49ers. I like that.
Yeah, I'm really rooting for San Fran this playoffs. Just all the injuries they've endured, and they've still found a way to win games. They found a way to win in the wild card game. Obviously, you saying no George Kittle, that's a big loss for them. But the Seahawks beat them in Week 18. This one's tough. I'm gonna go with San Fran plus the 7. They give me kind of like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know kind of what nationally people think about them. They almost give me like America's team vibes right now. I think everybody's kind of rooting for him with Shanahan and all the injuries and everything. And they're just winning ball games. So give
It's
me
weird
San
because
Fran plus the
I've
7.
never rooted for them before, and
Yeah,
I've
no.
always wanted them to lose. And now all of a sudden, I'm like, it would be sweet to have a team like that in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It would be. Jeff, did you text me that one as well? Oh, you texted me all of them. Okay. All right. So Jeff automatically falls and gets the Seattle Seahawks.
We'll rock with it.
You get the 1 seed, Jeff.
Yeah,
You're the one
that's
seed
fine.
in
No,
the
I'm
NFC.
not. Listen, I don't, like I was talking to Boone about this. I don't hate to fade you every pick on this pick, like this slate. I don't think it's a bad idea because these are tough games. All of them, to be honest.
Next game, Houston is on the road. By the way, no Nico Collins. Nico Collins is out for the Houston Texans. It was officially today. But Houston is on the road versus the New England Patriots. Patriots with no Nico, the line has moved to 3. So the Patriots are 3-point favorites at home. I'm going to go the Patriots here. I think, listen, Houston's defense is good. I wish this was 2.5 so I can get the 3 points, but I think New England wins this game. And if they win this game, it's going to be by a touchdown. That's just how they've won games all year. I don't see the way or away at home the Patriots drop this game. So I got to go New England just based off of that. Houston, listen, they have a great team though, boys. They do. But they had like a billion turnovers last year or last week. CJ Stroud hasn't been the best. He's been good. I think it catches up to him versus an actual good team besides the Steelers.
You're right. They turned the ball over 5 times last week, and they still found a way to win. I know it's Pittsburgh offense. It's not the most explosive offense in the world, but that defense is phenomenal. Honestly, one of the best defenses I've ever seen. I mean, and one thing the Patriots didn't do well last week is protect Drake May. And now the rookie and Will Campbell, he has a more difficult task with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson this week. Give me the Texans plus 3. I think they're going to keep it tight. I don't necessarily know if they're going to win. I would be okay with a push here with the field goal. Give me the Texans plus 3. That defense is, I mean, they just straight up win them football games. The Texans offense could have 0 total yards, and the Texans could still win. That's how good that defense is. Give me the Texans plus 3.
The line just moved to 2.5.
You announced it at 3. I think, guys, that you announced it at 3.
I'm kidding. The line did not move. I wanted
Okay.
2.5.
All right. That would have been controversial, honestly.
Yeah, that would have been big. So Jeff, you automatically fall in place. I feel like I'm doing like a draft or a comp or one of those like a lottery where it's like you automatically get this pick. Jeff, you automatically get New England -3 with me. You'll be riding with me. Last game of the divisional weekend. By the way, Buzz, there's 4 games this weekend. The national championship game on Monday. 2 conference championship games in the Super Bowl. There are 8 football games left of this season. Insane. 8. And I think it's like a couple days too. It's not a lot of days. It's like 8 games though. But the final game of the divisional round, the Los Angeles Rams. Let me double check this line real quick. The Rams are 3.5 point favorites versus the Chicago Bears. In Chicago, there's going to be snow. It's going to be I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm going to roll, and I think a lot of people are going to – I think a lot of the money is going to end up being on the Rams in this game. So I'm going to go opposite. And let me see, actually. I could check real quick.
Money's on the Bears.
It's 53% of the money right now is on the Bears. So it's going to move a lot. You always know a couple hours before the game, lots of money gets thrown in there by the big bet. It could move either way. It really could. But I think I'm going to go the Bears in this one. It feels like it's a pick-em game. I'm going to go the Bears 3.5 to get to 3. Bears are going to be in it at the end of the game. Again, even if they're down 30, Caleb, they're going to find a way to get back in it in the fourth quarter. The winner of this game is going to win by 2 or 3 points. So I'll take the 3.5.
You can't rely on comebacks against a team like the Rams. You can't do it. This is my lock. This is a lock. I'm taking the Rams -3.5. I know it's snowy, everything. Guys, Chicago's defense is really not that good. They force a lot of turnovers, but they are not a very good defense. And I think the Rams are going to be able to run on them with Corum and Williams. It's my lock. Rams -3.5. Jeff, you get your wish. You get to root for the Bears this weekend.
Okay.
All right, so Jeff is locked in. Bears +3.5. So Caleb, you have the Bills, the 49ers, Houston Texans, and the Rams. I have the Bills, the 49ers, New England, and the Bears. So me and you are on 2 different games, essentially, going head-to-head. And then Jeff is automatically locked in with the Broncos -1.5, Seattle -7.5, New England -3, and the Bears +3.5.
I honestly think that Rams game could be a beatdown. I think it could be like a.
I don't think in the cold it's going to be a beatdown.
I don't know. I mean, I just saw a video today. You know who's on that? You know who's on that Rams staff? Mike LaFleur. And you know what Ben Johnson just did? Matt LaFleur, that stupid handshake.
Matt LaFleur called Sean McVay.
Yeah, and was probably like, go beat the hell out of Ben Johnson and the Bears. And Sean McVay said, word, we got you.
Hey, remember when David Blau left the Lions and went to the Vikings? Remember that with Brian Flores, and they gave all the Brian Flores all the Lions secrets? And guess what happened? The Lions still beat up on Brian Flores' defense. So I ain't worried about no damn. You don't think dude, Ben Johnson's going to have like plays from last week changed into different formations, different plays. Dude, he knows that shit, bro. They're going to be ready for that.
I mean, McVay's a better. I'm taking McVay. And
no, I actually can you read my picks actually?
So I'll say this first before I read the picks. Jeff got 2 of his picks out of the 4, so he receives 2 of his picks.
And I guess which picks he wanted.
Yeah,
he wanted San Fran plus the points.
No, picks I wanted. You're saying
picks he wanted. He did not want. Oh yes, he wanted San Fran. Oh. He ended up with Seattle.
And he wanted the Texans +3.
No,
he did not. He wanted the New England Patriots.
That one is the one where I battled the most because I love the Texans. Me and you, we all have talked about the Texans.
Yeah,
but
the two that
Collins is a tough loss. I get worried about that one.
The 2 that he wanted Denver -1.5 over the Bills, and he got that. And he also wanted the Patriots -3. And then he actually wanted the Rams, and he wanted the 49ers. Wow. And he got the Seahawks and Bears.
No, you didn't. You're just lying so people don't. No, come on.
No, I wanted
you knew Rams. You knew I was gonna pick the Rams. So you just wrote that down so everybody thinks, oh, he
there's a possibility Jeff did that. I wouldn't be shocked.
No. I think the Rams. I'm not going to do that now. Whatever. We'll stick with the Bears. It's fine. That one, I'm going to be real. When we were going into pick 'em, I was looking at the lines. I knew you would go with the Rams. I had a feeling. And I go, you know what? I'm actually comfortable, even though I would pick the Rams. There's like some of these games I'm like, I'll take it. Like Seattle, let's be real. Could we see Seattle winning by 10? Like,
They did, yeah. I mean, they did in week 18.
So it's like some of these games, I'm like, I'm not getting the pick I want, but I'm not mad at it. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a really good chance, Caleb, but I'm not trying to jinx you because I have similar picks than you. It's 2, but I do think there's a really good chance that you go 1-3. Like, and I'm being dead serious.
Hey,
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the
chance that you
49ers
go 0-4.
I could too, yeah. Like I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers end up losing by a touchdown or 2. I wouldn't be shocked if New England covers, and I wouldn't be shocked at home if the Bears win this game. And then you're sitting there at 1-3 with just the Bills win. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Denver wins. So you're like, oh no, quick 0-4 card.
Not happening. Sorry. Not happening.
I want it to happen because I want
It's not going to.
I want things to fall apart. I want to see like a Super Bowl pick 'em.
You can root against me. That's the way I like it.
Well, if you get 3 wins this week and then it turns into just me and you playing for the championship, I'm trying to defend my belt. That's really what it's come down to.
Yeah. Yep. Would we even have Jeff pick? Would we make him leave or what?
No, he would probably just have to host it instead of me. Like he would turn into the
That's
kind of host for the rest of the season.
wow, that's terrible.
Because we're playing for a championship at that point.
I mean, think about the fall for 17 weeks. It was in second place.
Like the Tigers.
Me and Boone were tied, battling. For
You fell far, dude. You're 8 games back of first.
Yeah, well, I mean, last
You had a
week,
1-7 week.
that was the week. Yeah, that was the week.
Love it.
Do I feel bad? No, because I think it's so funny, dude.
17 weeks, man. Think about that. That's like how the Lions feel. You go 15-2, and then you just get bounced. Like that's basically what just happened. 17.
Yeah, but yours
weeks
happened in the regular season. You're like the Tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were on top of the world for a long time. Everybody's like, is this the best fucking team in the league? I mean, look at these guys. And then, no offense, and then you end up sucking so much balls that you are now last by quite a bit.
Man.
I'm
sorry,
Yeah,
Jeff,
no
man.
offense,
I don't like your. I don't like your.
No, I don't like doing this.
Hey,
I'm
I
sorry.
really-
No more.
This
No more.
is
No, that was too far. No more hitting on Jeff.
No, you can. I mean, this is a.
Hey,
Hey,
Yeah,
no, dude, it's catastrophic. I mean, it's a catastrophic.
I mean, it's one of the
Not a-
all-time worst collapses we've ever seen.
Yeah, but we should stop talking. Even though it was so catastrophic and horrible, like it's so bad, we should stop talking about it because it's so mean. But it was. I mean, oh my, Jiminy
I
Cricket.
deserve
man.
it. I really.
Can we get like a belt too for the pick'em?
Oh, now we're getting a belt.
I mean,
No, I mean, we need to like we're playing like it's the same thing with the draft thing. Like, I'm like, oh, can we get a trophy or something or like a crown for the draft? And you guys, oh, because you won, Booner. And it's like, I think it'd be cool to have one. I would love to wear a crown for the best drafter on the show. Doesn't mean I get it the next year. It just so happens, pick them back-to-back years, I have a chance to win the championship again.
Are bragging rights not good enough for you? You need selling material.
No, I think, but like we do content for a living. Bragging rights between friends is good. Content for a living, it's like we should have things like that. I think it'd be a good idea.
What you got there, Jeff?
On this show, we do 2 things. We compete for
There
2
you go.
things.
Nameless award. You can have it.
No, I want a belt. I want like one of those WWE belts. On this show, we do 2 things that we keep track of score. It's pick'em and it's the draft. I'm the only one to win. No one else has ever won. I mean,
Hey.
it should be the best bragging rights of all time.
Hey, by the way, Xavier says, Jeff, don't be beneath a short joke for Caleb. Is this fair to say, Caleb? This is the only time you're looking down at me in anything. Is that fair?
Oh no, that's
I honestly
not
wasn't
Jeff
even
getting
listening.
involved in the short jokes.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh,
By the way,
man.
the doc texted me the other day. Are the pants that I wore to the stream last week, were they tight?
Is that what he said?
Well, no, he texted me. It was like, Booner, where did you get the jeans that you were wearing on the stream? I want some skinny jeans. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, the chat was saying your jeans were too tight. And I was like, I thought those were just normal blue jeans that I was wearing. Like they weren't that like they were just normal.
Hey, man.
You guys are around them. Are those too tight?
I mean, I
I'm
didn't
not
notice
gonna
anything.
I'm not going to give comment on another man's.
I'm just saying, like when you guys walk around, you're like, Boone, what are you wearing? Like are you like in a metal band or something, Boone?
Maybe. Hey, by the way,
Where the skinny jeans? I went back and looked. My jeans were less skinnier jeans than Caleb's were in the same stream, and I got the skinny jean jokes. I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Caleb just had aura from picking.
Yeah, but I just
His jeans were like his jeans were tighter than mine, and I was like, wait a second. I had to go back and watch it multiple times. Like, what's wrong with my jeans?
So instead, if you could
Yeah,
see
but
the
that
outline
guy,
of
the
your
jeans
wallet-
always look. Not when you're sitting down. I don't know if that's true. When you're standing up, yeah,
No.
if you could see the outline of a wallet, I mean, get some bigger jeans. But if you're sitting down and you could see the outline of a wallet,
Someone said, Xavier D, what is that he just said? I don't want to say that. I don't know if that's a bad thing to say. I don't know. I don't like to say words I don't know the meaning
I'm looking
of.
up what that means.
Yeah, there's.
So am I getting set up here?
I mean, this is essentially.
Dude, what is this?
You want to see what it is?
I mean,
I'm looking at it. It
is
doesn't even
okay?
make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm just bringing up what the.
That's so funny. Are we anywhere Sunday? Do we know, Jeff? for the game?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
Dog and Pony show's booked, and I'm waiting on DraftKings to get back to me.
So we're at our undisclosed location on Sunday as of now.
At this point, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Appreciate you all. We'll see you
Cool,
on
cool.
Sunday or tomorrow, actually. Caleb's show, Saturday mornings with Crunch Time. Be there. And then Sunday, we have our watch party, Rams and Bears. That's
Supreme
the first
Warriors.
one.
Thank you, Xavier D. Thank you.
That's the first one. But until then, we appreciate you all, and we'll catch you us on
Love you
Sunday
guys.
tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.